This is where it's at. This is global, it's around the world, with me, Matt Payne, and Emma Martin. We are bringing you riders from all around the world, racing on the MyWhoosh stage race for $1 million. It's huge, and there's some huge performances been put in already. Emma, let's just talk generally about the women's race, because there are similarities between the women's and the men's courses. The start particularly, I thought, was very interesting, the way that certain groups were basically just putting along.
Well, I think we saw 6 very different races on the same course in the women's race, and I think that's what was really, really interesting earlier on today. I think possibly we might see a similar pattern in the men's, but I would, well, you're nodding, I'm thinking possibly, because actually I think there's 1 or 2 riders who won't want it to go that way. They'll want it to be hard from the outset, and they may well make sure it is. But expect differences in the race fields on the same course. Do not expect 6 mirror image racing. I think that's what we learned in the women's race today. And also what we learned in the women's race today is be really careful of the bumps on the flat plateau, well it's not really a flat plateau, but on the plateau to start. So that after the hike and the training, last minute nutrition planning, the chase begins today, stage 1. It's exciting.
It is, and we've all been very excited in the broadcast team, behind the scenes and in front of the camera and behind the mic. It is one of those real big highlights of the year. A massive thank you to everybody who's made it happen, and it's great to be here for it.
Yeah, 522 men taking to the start line today. Those were the final numbers I added up across the 6 categories this morning, and they are down in that pen. The warm-ups are now complete, and they're ready to race.
So the rehearsals are done and dusted with. Don't forget you can keep up with all of the results on MyWhooshinfo.com and all the verified results on MyWhoosh.com/events. Don't forget, of course, you can catch up with everyone myself after all of the racing for a round of what's happened and what's to come on the Inside the Roads podcast that we're going to be bringing all that with Cahill and Simmons. Time to go, stage 2. So whilst I'm wishing my life away and already thinking we're on stage 2, we're on stage 1. Of course we are. It's the second race. It's the first stage. So many races, so many riders. It's confusing for an old folk like me who's banged his head that many times going riding outdoors. I should stick to riding indoors on my own.
Yeah, you should. The chase begins today on stage 1 of the MyWhoosh Championships. There are 6 categories out there in Switzerland today, and what a course it is. So in total, over the next 8 days, the men face 436 kilometres of racing today. A mere 70.8 kilometres. There are 3 climb segments today, 4 sprint segments, so lots of points out there on offer today. The plateau section does have some climbs and lumps and bumps, and the riders are going to have to be really careful before they descend onto the base of that first Zurich climb, up and over the Zurich climb, and then the transition to the next climb, the Heart of Switzerland climb, where I can tell you it will be snowing out there today. The sprint in between the Heart of Switzerland 1 and the Heart of Switzerland 2 further sprints along the way, and then following that final climb segment, that final sprint checkpoint at the 66.1 kilometre marker, we then have the run to the line at 70.8. There's a little bit of bumping along the way as we run into that final checkered flag. So it is going to be interesting, the tactics that play out.
It definitely is going to be very interesting. I think the way that it runs into the finish, and we've seen the finish, we can talk about what happens on the way in, but when we come into that finish, I think we're going to be very, very interested to see. I'm wondering how many of the men have been watching the women's race and how those things have unfolded, and what are the best tactics to employ there as you come in. So even what looks innocuous is going to be very, very tough because of the volume of riders. There are huge race fields in some of these race categories. 6 race categories in the men's and women's races. All the race categories taking on the same parkour you can see in front of you in the men's race. And 10-minute gaps between each of our race categories. So 10 minutes between category 6 and 5, then 10 minutes between category 5 and 4, and so on, all the way to category 1. It does mean that there's a lot of room to race. There's a lot of room to make mistakes as well. And already getting news in from people that they have been watching and taking notes. So Gareth, we'll be marking your note-taking on the way through. You can get in touch with us on the live chat on YouTube. That's where we're watching the comments as well. And let's see if any of our Category 6 riders were watching to make sure they've got this done. Category 6 last year was brilliant. The BMC 60s were our 2025 team winners in Category 6. Julio Rego, Sebastian Esteban, Orlando Montoya, David Milana, and Vladimir Toro.
Wow, the Category 6 pack this year, 144 riders on site. Yes, you did indeed hear that correctly. It is absolutely massive. 55 of those are in the Masters category, 6 of them are in the youth category, 10 of them in the GCC competition as well. But the teams, there are 15 teams out there too. It's going to be a great
Don't stop,
great
you
race.
too, mate.
There's some really well-known names in there if you follow the Sunday race start from the BMC 6 crew.
I'm feeling pretty good today as well. Well, I always feel good before the start of a race. You never know until the kicks happen, do you?
Of brand new riders to racing at this level.
I feel quite good.
And it's that real mix that I'm really looking forward to. So experienced riders like Florian Drummond, you can see on the screen for the level time 10 squad. Riders like Jonathan Baker, who knows is a really experienced rider. But they're up against some real new riders who've not raced at this level, up against these riders. And it's going to be very interesting.
It's about 40 minutes, but you know what I mean.
Because having done a stage race before, it equips you with that knowledge going into a stage race again. And so I think that's going to be to the advantage of some of our riders.
Yes, it is going to be really interesting out there. The growth in this category, absolutely phenomenal. Over 100% growth in this category since 2020.
It's absolutely huge. We'll see who's going to take out that team winner. 15 teams in Category 6. It's a huge list in there, including riders riding for BMC who were on the winning team, like Vladimir Toro. He's back once again. Our teams are lined up. 6 race categories taking to race start here today in Switzerland, taking on stage 1. Yep, stage 1 of the MyWhoosh Championships for 2026. Who will get the name in the history book? Who will take away first stage honours? Who's going to take away the sprint checkpoints, the climb checkpoints, take away the leaders' jerseys in all of our competitions, and of course take the stage win and the overall lead after stage 1. It's time to race in Category 6. You can see the purple jerseys and the green skin suits coming out from the pen. If you weren't watching in the women's show, the differentiation, the Masters riders are all wearing green skin suits in Category 6 with a 6 on their back. Anybody not in that Masters competition is racing with a purple jersey and black shorts in the standard age category with a 6 on their back. So they're all Category 6 riders. It's just that the ones in green with the skin suit, because they've been on the planet long enough, they've earned the right to wear a green skin suit. I would fall into this by some margin. You've got to be over 45, basically.
You do indeed. So the Masters category under 25, the Young Riders category under 23, and there are a number of riders in this racing category 6 in both of those competitions. 6 Young Riders, 55 Masters riders. Peter Crickland, the rider we are in with at the moment, on your screen. Casquet on, focus off of the start. They're at 500 metres at 44 kilometres an hour. The start has been swift. It's one big pack. Motoring out into Switzerland for the 70.8 kilometres of stage 1.
Now Peter Crickland, one of our experienced riders, and we're expecting to see him in action throughout the course of the racing. Just to give you a quick heads up from last competition, Michael Rademacher taking the overall in Category 6. There was no Category 6 in 2023, only 4 categories taking part in the racing 2023. 2025, Michael Rademacher taking the win in category 6.
Yes, you know, he had a great race. He had 1 first, 2 seconds, but he moved up 13 places on GC across stages 2, 4 and 5. It was a very small winning margin actually in category 6, just 39 seconds between Rademacher, who took the win, and Riley Milostic, the young rider who took 2nd place. He was exceptionally consistent. He had 2 seconds and 3 thirds. Cadabona took 3rd that year, Fabra took 4th, and Milano took 5th. You can see here 79 riders in this group. Some are just getting back into the mix. The stretch on the group and the pace from the start have caused 2 groups to form on the road, but 70, 80 riders in that first group, a number closing down onto the back, and then a little bit further back, a second group. It's going to be interesting to see if it stays that way and whether the pace comes off the front, but James Melville, I don't know why I'm surprised, Melville on the front, putting in a really strong pace at the moment. Edison Casagrande in there as well, as we drop in to the pancakes with a number of our category 6 racers.
It's really good to see our riders looking down into those pancakes and just checking out, see the riders as they race. At the moment, I'm quite liking the fact that frankly, Agadello is somewhere out in space at the moment. You probably feel like his legs have just ended up in space. As they go through. I only use this opportunity to just say, please guys, if you are sending us your feed, can you please put it in landscape format rather than in postcard format in portrait. We want it horizontal because it does mean you're not riding up a vertical stride.
Just think one of the things I really enjoy in Lipinski, obviously quite chilly where he is. He's still got his jacket on to start the race. I'm sure that will be coming off. But it is chilly in certain places around the world at the moment because we're not all having the same temperature.
Well, chilly is a certain place in Europe.
Well, that is true, but I wasn't aiming on that type of chilly. It was a different spelling that I was thinking about. But it's also all different sorts of time zones as well. In Europe, it's currently, well, I'm just looking at the clock, it is around 1:30 p.m. in Europe, which makes it 12:30 in the UK, which makes it around 7:30 in New York. Makes it a lot later in Australia and New Zealand. So
it does make a difference.
We're almost heading towards Wednesday.
Ouch. So wherever you are in the world, if you're watching this live, thank you very much for joining us. If you're watching on replay, then it'd be great to have you with us for the duration. Now, good to go in with a number of riders in their pancake, just in parallel to just in the middle of the screen. Nathan Craig, a late addition on the right-hand side of your screen. Nathan looking like he's really enjoyed it already. There's some serious effort having to go in just to stay with this group at the moment. Mike Broadbent's on left, tapping out super fast with them. And Wojciech Sebza, I think, has got an on-brand jersey, as usual.
Yes, Andrade with the polka dot casket. I wonder whether that is a statement of intent.
Yes, it'd be interesting to see. Wesley, are you going for the climbs competition? We'll have to find out. Don't forget, you can get in touch with Emma. Lots of riders already doing so. Emma inundated with messages, but we'll always accept plenty more, don't worry. The inbox is never full for Emma. It says that. So keep sending them at biking_Emma for all of your last minutes.
Yes, please do. Simon Llewellyn and rider in with at the moment. I'm going to call him the manager of BMC because he oversees the BMC crews and he oversees the BMC squads. BMC have 14 different teams across 5 categories in the men's race. Learn on your screen at the moment. It's an amazing achievement to coordinate all of that activity in all of those teams and get everybody in the right place at the right time. So absolute credit to Simon and the crew at BMC.
Yeah, a massive thank you to them. I think they take the prize for the most organised in sending information through to the commentary team for maybe 12 months, if not longer actually, since the last championship when they did the same. So don't get that information into it. We've got lots more days and lots of time to feature our riders, hopefully, between now and our last day's racing. Remember, it's 7 stages across 8 days. The rest days the riders choose to take it is on Sunday, and that is when Sunday Race Club continues its inevitable march onwards. Yes, if you choose to take it as a rest day, because some people will be racing right the way through, some people will be choosing not to. Some of the riders on the Sunday Race Club who haven't been able to race in the championship will be looking maybe to profit from in the absence of certain riders in there, we'll have to wait and find out. Emma Martin himself, bringing all of that latest action on the Sunday race, but we don't get a day off.
I'm thinking this is actually just about starting to settle down. 4.2 kilometres into the race.
Only at the front.
It's been absolutely eyeballs out on stalks. It has from the start of the first 4K here. If you have survived the first 7 minutes of the Category 6 men's race,
And they're still in the front.
congratulations. No, not even if you're in the front, just if you have survived. Congratulations, because what an effort to stay in the mix. The group now coming, back riders coming on, but it really has split the packs massively. Scott Farrow on your screen at the moment. You can see the fans blaring, trying to keep the temperature down. Botero on the front, Smithson, Montoya, quick way back to stop, and Londano. Farrow sitting comfortably in that front group. Nice move.
Yes, indeed. Very interesting to see just tap along the rhythm, but in England, so I think he's going to have some seriously warm temperatures by the end of this week into next for the UK, that is. Not the same temperature feelings everywhere in the world, but it's going to be interesting to see how people cope with that now. Just in with Tommy Watts at the moment, just on this line. This leading group is really fractured, and we've still got quite a lot of those bumps to do. We'll have to come back to that, because before we go to Category 6 into the descent, we go Category 5 down on our race start. Category 5 riders, we have 15 teams in Category 6 and 15 teams in Category 5.
Not as many riders though, 97 riders on the start sheets in Category 5. It's still a huge race field. 21 of those in the Masters competition, 6 in the youth competition, 8 in the GCC competition. But again, a real mix of new riders and regular riders on the MyWhoosh Premier events. Dieter Zimmerman is here, Leonard Cadabona, Julius Silva, Alexei Narovny is in the mix, Joachim Skretting is here. Interesting to see these riders race over 7 stages.
It is. I was looking through our start list, and which I've been constantly updating, and just thinking, this is just an amazing race. There's some really interesting names in there. Nicholas Spratt here, I think, definitely a rider to watch out for. The winning team last time, well, that was Cycling District 5.1, Clinton Davis-Cerrello, Jussi Palaka, Mark Monroe, Lenador, and Fabian Tapia. The Cycling District ahead of Level Up and ZTBR as well.
Well, can I just give credit out to the Whoosh You Were Here squad, because we all whoosh you were here. Love it.
Just, it is. There's some great names.
There really are across the team competition.
And I love the fact there's nothing to it. Falcon, Condor, and Eagles. Kubiak, Koznansky, CFO, Asaid, Arafena. It's just a great name. They're all over. Brilliant thinking, guys. Sure that you get the course dialed as you head out on to a race route here today. This is your race start here on the MyWhoosh Championships for 2026. This is out and onto the course for Category 5, the second of our categories, hitting race route at the moment. You can see João Machado, the rider leading out from Portugal. Francisco Barrier leading the charge behind. I'm just looking to see this group is not struck up. Good to see. Oh yes, very much. The unicorn hat is on already. I am loving the fact that our experienced championship rider off the front is smiling and having fun.
Yes, and wearing the unicorn hat, because that is what is making him go faster. He's right off the front at the moment. Luke Allport sat back, not all parting towards him at the moment. Lenador there as well. Category 5, well, I'm calling it the old MyWhoosh jersey, because that is so 2025. We are now 2026.
You've just got envy because you never got one.
Well, you know, I didn't race. I sat in the commentary box all week.
He did indeed. It's still in saddle. It's just a different shape saddle, that's all.
Yeah, it's a flat chair.
Yeah. And you don't need to pedal it.
Machado on the front of the pack at the moment. Last year's winner in Category 5 was Jussi Palaka. He is taking part in the competition this year, but in a different category. He took the win last year in 12 hours, 13 minutes and 50 seconds. 46 seconds ahead of Felipe Reinheimer, who took second place, and 54 seconds ahead of Hagland, who took third place. So the top three in this category last year within 1 minute of each other.
It's really, really close racing in our categories, in all of our races, whether that's on the Sunday Race Club or on the MyWhoosh Championship. We expect it to be tight competition here on the MyWhoosh Championships. Some really strong riders in here. Now, Luke Kendall, give us a wave up at the top of the screen, not too far from Luke Allport. As we move our way in and through, you can see a real mix of riders. Junior Alberto Penz is down here. Junior, another of our regular riders in that MyWhoosh jersey as well. Interesting to see Alex Lark at the moment, just on the tri-bars, and I always think that's a really good move. You can see that Casey and Kristin Kozatsky is also the same with the tri-bars on the bike, particularly on a long race. The ability to not use your upper body and your arms to support yourself, I think, is a missed trick by many people.
Well, I think the positioning on the bike is individual. I only say that because as a mountain bike and cyclocross racer outdoors, I actually prefer a wider hand position on the bars. But then that would have been because I am used to a really wide position on a mountain bike.
Yes, but if you can take, if you're...
The concept of tri-bars, I just shudder.
The muscles in supporting your body are using energy.
Do you know what? I don't care.
Good for you.
Well, there we go. If you do or you don't, it's up to you. I'm smiling at camera.
Well, that's not going to do a lot because the camera's not on. Okay, let's dive back in with Tessa.
I understand the theory.
That's what I'm wondering, if my microphone's working.
We will see. Right, let's see how these riders are going on course.
Got a new one in the post.
Front of the race, we are seeing Allporting in action at the moment. Luke Allport doing an Allporting off the front at the moment. It had to happen on one of our stages. Luke Allport has done it going onto the climb. So Allport is a verb that means to go clear of the bunch, to accelerate clear, and to make some distance at the start of a race. It happened. It was there. We did see the Allporting in evidence. Unfortunately, on the run into the climb, he's been mobbed, and the rest of the bunch have all piled on, gone over the top as we come towards the summit of the climb. This is a really nasty kicker, this particular one, that comes in at 2.5 kilometers in. It's the first nasty gradient. It's up at 9%, and it's long enough to break the riders apart.
Yeah, but look at the difference. Look at the difference between the start of Category 5 and the start of Category 6. Category 6 went out of the pen like a rocket ship, and at the 4 kilometre mark, they were still going. It absolutely decimated the field. Some of them were on Mars, some of them were in the moon, and some of them are still on Earth. But Category 5 is actually a much more sedate start. I know we're back with Aravena, who's in 78th position, and there are some gaps now starting to form here. But, you know, there's a good, strong pack of 75 riders plus up the road. There's a bit of a stretch on them, but they will come back together on this descent.
And I was just looking at the back of the grid, some really good names, some riders who we know have fantastic abilities and performances under the belt already this season. Not too far from the front now. We're in with Leonard Greg Cadabona at the moment. Good to see you, sir. He's got another of the MyWhoosh jerseys on there, tapping out the rhythm at the moment, and just nicely out of the saddle there. Looks like he's on good form at the moment, just pretty comfy.
Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it? Because the split has formed in the group, and you've got to make sure you're on the right side of the split, but you also don't want to extend too much energy early on. Cadabona putting in a great performance because of that, and making sure he was on the right side of the split. I noticed he had Nick Spratt on his wheel. Spratt, the only man last year to take away the King of the Mountains and the sprint competition in his category. Christoph Laszlo on the front of the pack. Yay, smiling, why not? 3.8 kilometre mark, day one on the front. Cadabona on his wheel, Justin Roy, Matt Munro, Lenador, they're all there at the front now of the Category 5 pack as they move along.
I always think Christoph Laszlo always looks like he's about to break into song when he's on camera.
Do you?
I do.
Oh,
I do. He looks really relaxed, and he looks very happy. and just nicely swaying along as he gets the power down. When he's sprinting, he doesn't look anything like that, believe me. But his sprint is quite phenomenal. So really interesting to see how that goes over the week, whether he's going to continue to be able to keep the smiles going rather than the full-on sprint grimace. But we will see. Category 6 at the moment, the first rider's out at 12.5 kilometres. Category 5 currently at the 4.5 kilometres mark. Basically, the Category 5 are at the top of the hill before the descent. Category 6 are onto the first of our climbs, because the first of our climb checkpoints comes at 13.4k. It's 1.4 kilometres long, which means it starts at 12 kilometres. It's not my maths that's any good. I've written it all down earlier. 48 metres of ascent on this climb.
Look at John back.
Yeah, he's gone hard early. I mean, the Category 6 race field has split asunder already. You can see that by the radar view, and we've seen that building through the course of the racing. Back clear at the moment. Callangard in there. Vikstrom not all that far behind. Lewis Lodano and even off Montoya. Everybody, I think, being very attentive on the front. They don't want to let the gaps go, but they also know there is a chance of the first checkpoint.
Yes, there is. And Joshua Callangard, the rider we're in with at the moment, just dancing on those pedals and coming up onto the side of John back. It's interesting because I think the second group on the road had almost caught the first group on the road when we came into the base of the climb, and now it's all going again. Fager, Toro, Ivanov, Mamba, Holtz, the riders behind. Esteban Montoya is there, Mont Newman is there. The pack not too far off the back. It's a 5-second gap between these two riders who are away at the moment and the group chasing. They've got, 350 metres till the banner.
So this will be very telling. Who wants the points? Who's looking at the long game here? Who's going out for the early points and will be able to hold them? John back at the moment at the front of this race. Joshua Callangard holding the wheel. 6 seconds is the gap back. Nielsen in there. Toro, last year's team winner, in there. We've got Ivanov, Mamba in the mix. Callangard now kicks down out of the saddle, goes up onto the front, come back, respond. He's pushing down at 8 watts per kilo, looking to come back. He's going to accelerate. Will it be too little, too late? No, it's going to be enough, I think. Callangard versus back. Who's going to take it? Just waiting for our screens to update, because initially the screens gave it to Callangard, but back, I think, has taken that behind. That is a big group of riders with some big names in there, some big riders in there as well. Dylan Kennan in there holding his carcass up over the top. Very successfully. Listen, if somebody could, if Phil Liggett can say that about Magnus Backstead, I can say that about Dylan Kennan.
Well, Kennan in the mix, he is indeed. But John Back taking the 5 points, Joshua Callangard taking 4, Vikstrom taking 3, Zimmel taking 2, and Newman taking 1. That is a cracking 2 riders clear of a 25-rider chase group.
Now you can see on your screens the riders who are riding in our Category 4 race. 13 teams in the Category 4 competition, and the winning team last year were the Peak Power Racing squad of Jonathan Gomez, Henry van der Zandt, Mason Rucker, Jakub Wojciech and Yun Yu Lin. Which of these teams are going to take it? They're up, they're out of the pens, they are away. The red jerseys of Category 4 with the Category 4 Masters riders riding in that green skin suit, and already Eben Schvar on the chase of the lead. They are nailing this out of the start pens in our race categories today.
Well, Category 6 dialed it. Category 5, a little more sedate. Category 4, boom, let's go. Marco Sierra right on the front here, pushing on, and there he is on your screens, up and out the saddle, pushing on those pedals, giving us a thumbs up. He's enjoying himself at the moment. He's off the front of the pack at the start. Spar is doing the chasing. Alvarez is there as well. Hassan Sultan is in the mix. Now, the Category 4 race field, 82 riders, 13 teams, and there's some cracking riders in here. But do you know what I'm really enjoying? I'm enjoying the fact the pack are behind us. They're going, go on, Marco, off you go. We're not going to chase. See you in a bit, because you'll come back.
Yeah, I don't think there's any need to be too silly at the start. I don't think you need to go too crazy at the start, because it's a long 7 days. Personally, I mean, I like it. It's great from my point of view. We get a quick look at somebody already in the show. into the pain cave. But from a racing point of view, don't burn all your matches at once. You may need some to light a fire later.
You might. There's a number of really, really strong riders in this Category 4 pack. Si Bradley on your screen at the moment, giving us a towel wave.
Hey, Si.
That also gives him a bit of a fan breeze as well, because the fan is rolling, but he's going to need some cooling this week as the temperature goes high in the UK. Up and out the saddle, dancing on those pedals. Part and parcel of the Level Golden 4 Team 3 squad. That's a mouthful. But he's got Graham Priest, Carlos Gallego and Petter Avenant in that squad with him. Team 2 have Golden Boy himself, Rimborg. He's with Svart, Sinclair and Gonzalez. For me, that possibly has got to be one of the strongest Level Golden teams.
Yes.
Rushmore Corbani, Falana, Rusumaki and Bullo, though, might give them a run for their money.
So we got on our screens our winners from year one. Enrico Quadrelli, fantastic ride by him in 2023. He was battling all race, one of the real races of the championships in 2023. A certain Jakub Wojciech taking away the win in 2025.
Yes, he did indeed, by 44 seconds from Jonathan Gomez. Massion Perdencini came through in third, just 48 seconds. I tell you, it was a really, really close race. It was fantastic. Wojciech himself moved up 12 places across stage 4, 5 and 6. So whatever happens today on stage 1, do not panic. There is plenty of room for movement across the next 6 stages.
And we did give some examples of that actually in the podcast in the preview show, the second of our preview shows about moving up. Now, one man I think who's not going to lose time is Evan Sport, but he's up against Si Bradley. Now, Bradley moving up to Category 4, he's been improving over the last few months into the summer, and I think he's on form that I've not seen from Si for a while. So moving up into Category 4 makes sense to me. But when you move up into a category, you've got a hard time generally. It's tough whenever you move up. To move up in the championship is particularly tough.
Yeah, I agree with that. But also you need to ride smart. Eben Svart will ride smart because he is that type of rider. We've seen him ride really strongly. He's
Don't make him laugh. He's trying to concentrate.
No, I know. I'm sorry. But he's pushing him just on this small bump on the top of the plateau, making sure he stays in the mix. He is indeed.
Focus, Eben.
His position in the pack is absolutely spot on. He's got Niall Batty on his wheel, Marvin Leonhardt in front of him. He's just saying, yes, of course, Matt, I will. Francis Pino on the front of the pack, though, just stretching his legs a little bit. This group 2 has split. So we go in with Arthur Corbani. He's the younger rider in the forefront of the picture. Andre Corbani, his dad, is in Category 6. He's the rider slightly further back in the picture. But great to have a Category 4 and a Category 6 rider in the mix. Now, Arthur Corbani, one of those 6 young riders in the mix here in the under-23 competition. He's part and parcel of Level Golden 4, which is a great squad for him to be in to start with. So looking forward to seeing him race. He's going to be particularly strong on our climbing days.
Yes, I always, not worry is the wrong phrase. I always want to say to young riders who are really, really young, when you go into a stage race, ride it as smart as you can. It's probably more prescient for those riders who are younger than it is for the older riders. Older riders tend to have more stamina, more built-in stamina. The younger riders, I think, it's really, really key, making sure they refuel, rehydrate, make sure that they've got their recovery routines in there. It's easy to damage yourself when you're young.
It is, and the red mist does descend a little bit stronger and deeper than when you're older. Matt's giving me a look across the studio as they say, don't be daft, the red mist descends at whatever age.
It doesn't disappear. Promise you.
But he's got his dad racing in Category 6 alongside him for the stage race. And I love the relationship between those two. Now, Batty on your screen, he too is going to go strongly on the climbs. He is an absolute consummate climber. He's right in the mix here in Category 4 at the moment. And the pack has split. It's not all one group at the moment, but it is rolling well.
I'd not expect to see Niall disappear off the back of the group on this ascent. at all. Before we come down into our descent, we've got this little bit of a riser to come up. Basically, you start descending once you've gone over about the 6K marker. There's a little bit of a rise on the way through, but it's a long, long way down to the base of the first climb at 12K. Now, 600 meters into that climb are category 5. Category 6 already over the top, they're motoring. Category 5, Savic leading out at the moment. Pedder in there, Duda, Silver. Lasno right up there, no surprises there. We're in with Nikola Savic, another rider nicely bedecked in MyWhoosh attire, which you can buy MyWhoosh jerseys. You can't get them all because you have to earn certain of the jerseys, like the championship jerseys, but good to see them in there. Just in with Rod Loxley. So Rod down in the MyWhoosh HQ. Rod working hard in this group, and one of the things I really like is the fact that the people who make the game happen ride it to know exactly how it feels. And race it. It's not just some theoretical, abstract mathematical equation for them. They're out there racing, experiencing it. This is unique in cycling esports. The way, the scale of this event, the way it rides, the volume of riders, the competition, the amount of prize money, all combines to make it such a unique event. And when it is, I think for me, you can't test it. No. You can't test this kind of racing because it's different. Anyone who says that you can test racing and get exactly the same result in a non-race environment as a race environment has not raced.
Well, Daniel Thiem is racing at the moment, and he's racing for the polka dot banner. Christoph Lasno is trying to go with him, and so is Nicholas Spratt, but it's Thiem who's going to go underneath the banner in
nice
move from Daniel Thiem. He's going to put on the gold polka dots. I'm loving this skin suit. I really, really am. So black skin suit, gold polka dots. It is the new wear in King of the Mountains competition. Thiem 5 points, Spratt 4. Keep your eyes peeled for Nicholas Spratt, absolutely everywhere.
Dangerous.
Lasno 3 points, Mule 2 points, Zimmerman 1 point.
Zimmerman's a dangerous rider again, and on the in the group, you can't discount him from the overall.
The Swiss rider, he's really, really strong. Yeah. Now, those 5 riders leading a group of 51 at that point.
51 riders. Absolutely crazy. Right, here we go. Category 3. This is going to be interesting. Category 3, racing off from the race starts. There are 12 teams. He says 12 teams confidently in Category 3 here today, as he is correct, so indeed. And I think we'll see who's going to take it. In terms of the team competition last year, 2025, Take This took that away.
Oh.
They did indeed. Henrik Oyer, Nick Scolari, Nikhil Kansara, Lewis Ridley and Che Holweiler. I mean, it was a mentally strong squad. They came in ahead of Gold Grabbers and the What's Up squad. The time gap, 1 minute, 19 seconds from first to second place. After a week's racing and adding up all of those team times, it was just over a minute difference. It's nuts.
Yeah, it was indeed. But the 82 riders that are on the start sheets today, there are some absolutely cracking riders. Tamo Friedeck is here, Christopher Morgan is here, Luis Andrade is here. I'm also taking a look. Nikhil Kansara is on great form. Matheus Kalman is in the same team as him. Andre Notes, Martin Konda, Rune Bakken is going well. There's a lot of riders going well as they go out of the pen. The lights went green, away they rode. Ivo Sur, Pierre Fell, Wouter Clays, they're all in the What's Up Next squad. And
there's some names that you mentioned there. People like Matheus Kalman, who took 7th overall last year, could be right up there. Christopher Morgan, interesting to see how he goes on the sprint competition.
I think,
in fact, we are in with Matheus.
Need a bit more than look on this
here today. You just tapping that rhythm round on the bike there as he moves out.
Suffer Together squad.
I know. It's not the most positive team name.
Well, I think they're going to enjoy suffering together because the camaraderie is going to help them.
I'll suffer with you in the commentary box, buddy.
I thought you were going to say you'll suffer with me in the commentary box. But seriously, Tequila, Kansara and Rakel, the riders in that crew. And I think they'll support each other, but they'll also be a good squad. Now, Ride Club Finland, Pony, Valve, Pippinen, Karlström and Schmidt should go well too. But there's a lot of teams in there that are going to go well. Let's just take a look at who won in 2023 and who won in 2025.
So 2025, it was Christian Montoya who took the win. Really interesting the way that he did that, because he wasn't the strongest on stage 1 or stage 2 or stage 3, and just you could just see moving his way up steadily through. Had a dip actually on stage 4 before coming back strong on 5,
Do you know he never
6
took a
and
win?
7. No,
thanks, man.
indeed.
I'm going to do my best.
Really impressed that the way that he rode.
Yeah.
His best was a second place on stage 5.
I'll do the best I can.
Christian Montoya on
Hi,
your
Christian.
Screen, the rider who won last year in 11 hours, 37 minutes, 17 seconds. He was 14 seconds clear of Stan Van Belleghem. It was the smallest winning margin in any of the men's categories. It was absolutely an outstanding race and an outstanding win from Montoya. Looking forward to seeing what he does this year. Lewis Ridley was also under a minute back in 3rd place. It is going to be a really interesting race. Christopher Morgan, who took the sprint competition last year, is in the mix in the race for the Level Vikings as well. You know, there's a lot of people in here with experience of last year and back to race this year. So, it'll be an interesting one where we drop in with our riders. From Karlstrom, Fell and Butcher on the top of the screen to Dawson, Montoya, Almeida, Sur and Janicki. Jean Janicki, some little birdie has told me it's your birthday today.
Is it really? Jean, happy birthday in Portuguese. I don't know happy birthday in Portuguese. I'll have to do it. Whatever it is, happy birthday, buddy. It's another year round the sun. Thank you, everybody who's given us our shots into your pain caves. We're going to try and work our way out and round. We have seen people whose birthdays it is. I'm thinking of you, Mohammed Mukhtari, blowing out the birthday cake whilst riding in a race.
Well, you know, you go well around your birthday.
Blowing out a birthday cake, blowing out a candle on the birthday cake.
Yeah, okay. So we know what that means. But the riders on your screen, all part and parcel of the Category 3 pack, and you can see them now up and out the saddle, keeping an eye on the race, not an eye on the broadcast, as exactly they should. Janicki pushing on there. Vochacoat and a Bitcoat in the mix. David Watts is there as well. Now, we've just seen our riders in the Zoom room. We've seen the riders who have joined. There is Jean Janicki on your screen. Warm-up jersey still on. If you want to join Janicki in the Zoom room to get onto the broadcast, you can.
It's really easy. Make sure that it's in landscape. That's basically flat and low, not tall and thin. So make sure it's in landscape mode so that you're the right way around. Make sure your name matches. So Jean Janicki is Jean Janicki, both in the Zoom room and on his name. You need to match your name to your right avatar's name on those so that the team can pick you out. Last but not least, make sure that you put the mic on. If you can imagine that we have a Zoom room of mic off. We've got so many riders on here, on the racing. If they're all in the room and they've all got their mics on, it's impossible to control the room to make sure that it all goes in. So please, guys, make sure you keep those mics off. Landscape and get your name in. And please do, because we'd love to get that view into your racing. You don't have to be with us from the start. You can join us a little bit later on in the racing, but please do join us, because it really does give an insight into just how much work our riders do. I think it's very easy to sit back and go, oh, just sit indoors and turn in the lights on. It's not.
Well, what is really interesting is this Category 3 race start. The riders are at Zone 1, Zone 2. The pack is entirely still together. I bet the Cat 6 riders are looking at this thinking, I wish I'd raced Cat 3.
Yeah, pretty much. Tamo Friedeck in with us now. Tamo Friedeck has had some fantastic progression. Good to see Tamo in with us. A rider who really, we've seen that progression. We talked about this on the Sunday Race Club just before the start of the MyWhoosh Championships. He had the course record in Category 4 Category 5, 4, and then in Category 3 was 2 minutes quicker than he was in Category 4. Brilliant progression.
Tamo Friedeck, we're back with Category 4. Maybe we'll talk about Tamo Friedeck.
Let's talk about. We're bound to see him a little bit later on.
3.
So we are just making our way up the climb here at 12.5k. We're aiming for the top of the heart of Switzerland climb in terms of riders making it over the top, the Zurich climb, the top of the climb. We saw Daniel Thiem ahead of Nicholas Spratt and Christoph Lasno in category 5. In category 6, John Back ahead of Joshua Kalangad and Santeri Quickstrom. But category 4 should be quicker to that point. The fastest rider at the moment, 18 minutes 10 seconds. They're not that far off the top. I'm not sure they're going to be challenging the fastest time here unless they really accelerate. The bunch is all the way across the road here, which says to me that although
I believe everyone's turned up
into multiple groups, this is not flat out yet. There's a little bit of being cagey here.
Yes, there is.
Thanks, coach.
500 metres to go. Ryan Giuliano, though. Braidley, Perdicini, Cirillo, Ungara, Leonhardt.
Find out which one I am.
Aidan Sinclair is there as well. Those are all the names I would be expecting to come to the fore before they get to the banner. With just 400 metres to go now, one of them's going to launch quickly. It's who gets the timing right. Braidley's now starting to wind it up. So Sinclair. Aidan Sinclair, the rider on your screens at the moment, now starting to move. It's going to be a big push from the young rider in the under 23 category as well. So good to see him competing in multiple categories on the MyWhoosh Championships, but now that really does open up. So
a mayor at the moment just took a kidney head of affairs. Alvarez challenging, Restrepo's coming at speed, Sinclair's coming at 12.5 watts per kilo. It's close on the line. Did Sinclair nab that on the line? It was super tight. The time for Sinclair, 17 minutes, 50.690 seconds. The time for Restrepo, exactly the same minutes, exactly the same seconds, but 0.735. That is 0.045 of a second.
So good.
Nothing in it.
Aidan Sinclair puts on the polka dots, leading the climbing competition on day one. 49 riders in the group. Restrepo, Amaya, Alvarez, Rusumaki, Slade Braidley coming through for 6th place.
So top 5 getting 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1 points respectively at the top of the climb. As we go down to the start line on category 2, our category 2 riders lined up in the pens. Last year in the championship, Mystex 100 taking that win from Peter Milostic and Arvin Godarzi. In terms of teams, it was the GOATS squad at the top, ahead of the Smarties and the Hitmen. The GOATS team, Peter Milostic, who's back on form, Jonas Bjarhead, Maciej Mendakowicz, Burke and Karl Cahill.
Yes, and those teams mixed up a little bit, or should I say those riders mixed into different teams this year, so it's going to be interesting. 75 riders on the start sheets, 13 teams. Bjarhead is in with Guerra, Bjorklund and Thiem. Dangerous, but as you mentioned, Peter Milostic coming back into some really good form as well. He's with Team Balbina, Krasnich, Mendakowicz, Trojanowski, Milostic and Gorjak. They are also ones to watch. There are 10 Masters riders in this field and 8 under 23s.
And we mentioned Burke and Karl Cahill. They have stayed with the GOAT squad, so they are in the GOAT squad, but joining them, David Nitko, Stuart Miller and Vidal Mayer. So definitely not to be sneezed at. Right, let's see who is going to explode off from the start line at the speed of sound. Who is going to have more of a diesel-like start? It's time to go racing in category 2. This is going to be a brutal category to be racing in on the championships. There are so many strong riders, so many riders with subtle differences in their skill sets, whether that's climbing, and they're great climbers, but they're good sprinters. They're great sprinters who are good climbers. Some of our riders are just great all round. Some of our riders maybe just looking to step up a little bit as we go through these championships. Maybe not going off too hard. One man who had a great race not all that long ago, Sunday, Marcin Trojanowski, the rider on your screens at the moment, did a really good move, got himself in the right place. The rider charged onto the leading group on the top of the climb, couldn't quite hold it to the line, but great to see him riding himself back into some great form at the front of the racing in category 2. But this is a really mixed field. It's not just Sunday Race Club riders. There's a real mix of riders.
Yeah, it is. And there's some new riders in the mix too. Marcin Trojanowski, the rider on our screens, it was good to see him. Now, the former winners, Nick Spratt, you can see in there in 2023. He's racing this year, but is in Cat 5. X100, Mr. X100 won last year. He took the win from Peter Milostic by 16 seconds. 10 hours, 59 minutes, 51 seconds of racing. In fact, this entire top 5 was so close. Just 1 minute, 18 seconds separated the top 5 riders last year. X100, Milostic, Gordazi, Miller and Mendakowicz. And I think they're all back.
Yes, and you look at riders behind, can't get inside the top 10 there. Some of the riders moving up, Matthias Van Heen moving into category 1, for example, from category 2. But the way that it was ridden, this was one of the battles for me, was the category 2 men's race, because it oscillated up and down. Peter Milostic had a real yo-yo ride. He was up and down places. He was down 10. He was up 13. He was all over the place. We'll see whether that's going to be the case this time around as we go in with our riders. You can see Michelle Machado, top left-hand side of your screen, down through Jesse Langevin, down the left-hand side to David Badil. One of our youngsters. Good to see David back with us. David Nitko along the bottom, along with Gal Yazbek, Jakob Björklund and Jamie Cahill. All of which are regulars on the Sunday Race Club. Just moving away back across, we see Martin Trojanowski, and we've got Maciej Mendakowicz on our screens, one of our top 5 riders previously. Kayan in here as well.
He took the climbing competition last year.
Yeah, he was so strong on those climbs. Rajesha, that's going to be Kamadeva. Apologies for the pronunciation, buddy. I know you're on the Sunday Race Club this Sunday.
Yeah, he was great to see.
He was good to see. And Nathan Guerra as the rider, gone right the way around the outside. The only rider I've actually missed by going around the outside is Josiah.
Yeah, I'll put
one of our real regulars.
I'll put the commentary on from the MyWhoosh feed.
I'd like to see you take a win, please.
Thought it was pretty cool.
No pressure on anybody.
Just the win, just the first place.
I'm not listening to it though.
I really want to give a call out to the youth competition.
I was.
The under 23s. It is going to be so competitive.
I got music on instead.
Kamadeva, the rider on the top of the screen here, part and parcel of that youth competition. So's Rodrigo Kumbra. So is David Badil, also on our screen. Gal Yazbek is still an under 23 as well, a Slovenian rider, and so is his brother Jan, who's up in category 1. Milan Termerton is still an under 23 rider. Yes, I know. Josh Power is in the under 23 category. So is Simon Pardon Cooper, as well as the Australian Fergus Kinnemans. So that for me is also going to be an absolutely fabulous competition, and 3 of those riders in that under 23 competition are on your screen right now. So 3 really different experience levels. David Badil was with us quite a lot earlier on, but not been with us so much of late. Gal Yazbek seems to be ever present on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. Then Rashidas Kamadeva, the newer rider in there, but good to see all 3 of them on our screens. View into the paint cave, all 3 out of the saddle, but still leading the race out at the moment over this steep climb. And I tell you what, it's opened some gaps up at the front of this race. And if I remember last year at the MyWhoosh Champs, Badil is a great climber.
Yes, he is. I'm going to just put that into numbers if I can find him on my screens. It's going to have to wait because I'm just struggling to find anybody on my screens at the moment.
Really?
Just having a moment. Don't worry.
I think you'll find.
I'm going to let Emma just find them as we go in with Espree Ibrahim, another returning name to the competition here today. In fact, here we go.
Here you go. So he was. He didn't finish the race last year. He rode the first 3 stages and then stopped, probably due to other commitments. But in those stages, he took points in the climbing competition. He was in category 3 last year, so has progressed to category 2. And right on the front of the pack, it's going to be interesting to see what a 12 months progression has achieved. Definitely.
Now we're just in with Ivan Nuki. Nuki, definitely a rider to watch for as we go up onto the climbs. The coach at the Abu Dhabi Cycling Club, based down on Huderi Island.
Newly reconvened team. The UAE clan team, X100 and SS, joined by Ivan Nuki, Phil Graves and Simon Walter.
Can I just say, that is just like just a ridiculously phenomenal team. That is just brilliant. You've got last year's winner in Mr. X100, the man who's ridden on here so many times. The only person who actually has ridden on the MyWhoosh on the Sunday Race Club boys. Phil Graves, he's in the team. SS is in there, man who's taken lots of the climbs competition. He's a great repeated sprinter. Ivan Newkey,
phenomenal climber.
And I think Ivan Newkey goes really well when he's part of this team. I think it's almost like he pulls himself up another step, another level. He kind of takes his own coaching advice and sort of takes it to heart, and then shows the youngsters just how it's done.
What teams mean?
Yeah, he can walk the walk as well as talk the talk. He's as well as being a lovely guy.
Well, David Walt's walking the walk and doing the talk at the moment, but Samuel Josh, the Canadian, chasing hard. Ergatan Adar as well, really in the mix here. Those three riders just a little bit ahead of the group at the moment. They're at the 12.8 kilometre marker. It's a little way to go. It's around 550 metres until they get to the banner. A couple of corners still, but the riders pushing on the front. The pack, while John Janicki also starting to pay close attention, and Bruno Forster starting to put in a dig.
Well, they do say you go strong around your birthday, and Jean Janicki's bang on his birthday today, so we'll have to see if that's going to be the case. Ergatan Adar leading out at the moment at the front of this race, so going over the top of David Watts. Adar kicking onwards now as Watts just loses a little bit of ground. Montoya, last year's winner, in the mix. So is Janicki. Skierski's in there. Maciej Skierski, Diego Vargas moving up into position, but this big pack still waiting to unleash here. Adar's gone early. Has he gone too early? I don't think he has. I think he's got the beating of Watts. Whether he's got the beating of Foster remains to be seen, but time is running out for the riders behind. Ergatan Adar is going to take away the first of our points in Category 3 in that climbs competition, ahead of Watts, ahead of, that's interesting, that's a dangerous rider, Christopher Morgan. Now, anyone who's watching the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club on the MyWhoosh YouTube channel or on the Twitch TV will know that Morgan is a specialist in a long lone breakaway. He's definitely not a rider to let go clear. So Adar takes 5 points, Watts takes 4, Rios takes 3, Morgan takes 2, and Foster takes 1. Adar's about to see Morgan come onto his heels here, leading this group over the top. There are riders who've been distanced from the main bunch, but let's just say that is a incredibly packed group. 61 riders in Category 3 together over the top of the climb. It's Category 1 down on our race start, down on that start line, waiting to leave the pens down here at the MyWhoosh Championship. It's going to be the last of our riders to get into competition, but they could well be our fastest riders, or should be the fastest riders of the day. Category 1 last year in terms of that team competition. The team competition taken by the Boss Moves Only squad, Nelson, Safrazedi, Vink and Osborne. Ava Synergy in second place, Alvador in third, Farmwatch squad in fourth, the Venga Boys in fifth, the Natural Born Gorillas in sixth, Les Domestiques in seventh, and Cycling District not finishing 3 riders by the end of the racing.
Yes, really interesting, and with 30 seconds to go, the competition here is going to be intense. We have 43 riders on the start sheets, 8 teams. It is just going to be nuts. Ruben Dont on your screens at the moment. He's the rider highlighted on the right-hand side. He has been absolutely a rider on form recently. We know him as a great sprinter, but he's turning into a great all-rounder as well. The riders at the final seconds about to tick down. The final race category about to go out of the start pen today on the MyWhoosh Championships for 2026. Category 1 are out of the pen and away. The Alpha Jaw Space Cowboys, Muscles Won't Complain, Riders of the Storm Team, Abus Esports, the final bosses.
Could be some rest coming.
ZDR
and then a hell of a KOM.
Ducks Racing.
Only
They are the
1.4
8 squads who are
K.
going to battle it out over the next 7 stages across 8
Really
days.
explosive.
And they complete our riders out on course. A phenomenal entry across all 6 race categories in the men's race. The women's race was up. The men's race is up a huge amount, isn't it, Emma? I think it's 421 riders taking to race start. I think, if I remember right, what was the number? What is the percentage up overall in terms of the men's racing?
Well, you're going to ask me to do maths on the
No,
start. I can tell
on
you
the entry
numbers
list.
on the entry lists.
Yeah.
The entry lists, the men's race field was up.
Of confirmed entrants who had been approved.
5%
How many?
on the entry list, but not all of the entries have taken to the start line today, so I will recalculate for later.
So the entry list was those people who had been approved to race. That was up 50.
55%.
55%. That's a huge increase. 421 taking to race start approved riders. Ricardo Panizza in the category 1. It shows you just how good you have been in category 1. It's such a small percentage of that race field in some ways because it is a smaller race field, isn't it, Emma?
Category 1 is a smaller race field. 37 riders on the start line today. So Panizza part and parcel of that. Absolutely brilliant to see though. Ricardo Panizza, a rider who should really go well over the next 8 days. He is part and parcel of that Wenger Boys crew, the Italian rider. In fact, I like the Wenger Boys because we've got a rider from Belgium, a rider from Poland, a rider from Australia, a rider from France, and a rider from Italy. So it looks like it's a little European, but then you throw Lyndon Milostick into the mix, the youth rider, the under 23, who climbs very well.
Right, let's just bring you the headlines from previous years. Michael Venk has won this 2 years in a row, not taking to the start line here today. And that does mean we're going to have a brand new name on the top of the standings for the win. In terms of the overall, because we have no Venk, Jason Osborne is the champion-elect. He's a world champion. He's been absolutely nailing everybody in the Sunday Race Club. Is it about who can beat him? Well,
interestingly, isn't it? Osborne and Jones have been 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 for a lot of weeks recently on the Sunday Race Club. Both of them targeting the MyWhoosh Championships. It's going to be really, really interesting. Osborne took the King of the Mountains competition last year, and in the final 4 stages he took 2 wins and 2 second places, so he really was on form. One of the great rides last year. Said Safrazadi moved up 15 places across stage 2, 3, 4 and 5, so keep your eyes peeled for him. At the moment we're in with category 2. They're at the 9.1 kilometre marker. Phil Graves has already gone off the front, and SS is sitting up.
He did go to try and join him. I think he realised that the bunch were in danger of coming, and then left him be. His teammate up the road. I think they were looking to put 2 riders down the road. The UAE clan squad. Interesting move by Phil Graves to go so early. I know Phil Graves has been putting in a huge amount of training.
He's returned to triathlon, isn't he?
He's returned to triathlon. I mean, don't forget this is one of the, if not the youngest winner of an Ironman. In Phil Graves, somebody who I have personally raced against and been beaten by. I mean, I know it's not a very short list of people who've managed to beat me over the years, but Phil Graves regularly beat me in time trials out around the south side of York and Tadcaster when I was younger. And he was much younger than me at the time. And,
he's still much younger than you.
Don't rub it in. But he's been putting in some serious training.
He has.
And he's looking in really great shape. And it's good to see him coming into form at absolutely the right time here. It'll be interesting to see how he performs here as part of that UAE clan team, with the UAE clan team, a really cohesive team most of the time. And I think it's easy to say everybody should ride as a team. It's much harder to do in person, in reality. Now, let's dive in with category 3 at the moment. They're at the 18.7k marker. We've got a little bit of a fracturing in the group here. Corrales, Chicos, Morgan, Friedek, Rocker, Josh, Cunningham, all sort of in this leading group at the moment.
Doing that.
Morgan especially or pushing the pace up. And it's starting to fracture behind at the moment. We're going to see if this continues to push. Continues to break at the moment. Chicors leading this group out. Everybody behind having to scramble for the wheels as we dive back into a KO with our riders in category 1. And it looks like Mark Smith, one of our newer riders, riding from the United States of America, he's off the front, just wanting to pick the pace up a little bit, just make things a little bit tougher. The man who has just chased him down, Michael Nussen, the man with the second most number of podiums ever, 99 podiums in the Sunday Race Club for Michael Nussen. He's one of our most experienced riders on MyWhoosh in terms of racing. along with Mark Smith, one of our newer riders. Welcome,
Yeah.
Mark. Good to have you with us.
He is one of our newer riders. Great to have him here. So 2 Masters riders in Category 1, 4 youth riders. In that youth competition, we have Jan Yazbek, we have Pavel Skierski, we have Lyndon Milostic and Jakob Freiland. That is going to be a really, really tricky competition. We drop back in with Category 2 because they are on the Zurich climb, and that is the first of the categorized climbing segments today. There are 3 of them out there, and at the moment it's the young riders on the front.
And this climb is the bigger climb. It's the only time we take this climb. The 2 climbs to come are both the same. They're both going to be the Heart of Switzerland climb. But this time around on the Zurich climb, Nuno Torres on the front, Rajesha, he's out the saddle. One of our young riders. I really love the fact that these youngsters are not afraid to take on the established guns, the riders who've maybe got that bit more experience.
I think that's the joy of being a young rider.
Yeah, you know, just
Yeah.
have that joie de vivre.
Well, and also the you might have riders that you respect in the peloton or you look up to, but you're not phased by them at all. Giselle Betty right in the mix towards the front of the pack as well. Torres, SS, Halen, Pardon Cooper is in the mix as well. Is Ortiz, Halen is there, Carstenen is in the mix too. Con Cairn coming up now, and Cairn's putting in a big kick at the moment as he's driving towards the banner, but it's still some way off.
It is still some way off here. This kick is going to be key. Cahill knows how to pace a climb. Remember, this is a man who took away the win in the climbs competition previously. He's been on good form on the run in here. He's got the gap at the moment. The kick is coming from behind from SS, but it's going to be Cahill who takes maximum points here. Well, continuing onwards, And
he puts on the gold polka dots.
Business as usual for Cahill. Well done, buddy. So Cahill taking away maximum points. So interestingly, the Category 2 race with Cahill's time of 17 minutes 41 seconds is almost 1 second. It's over a second slower than Ergatan Adar in Category 3. Category 2 and 3, same time to the
I told
line.
you they were taking it a bit steady.
Cahill with 5 points, SS with 4. Manuel Ortiz with 3, Nicholas Gigillo with 2, and Mr. X100 with 1 point on the first of the climbs competition checkpoints in Category 2.
Yeah, Betty, Yazbek, Fawcett, Bjorklund, Pardon, Cooper, all up towards the front of the pack as well. 56 riders in that group in Category 2. 61 were in the group in Category 3 as they went through, 49 in Category 4, 51 in Category 5, and 2 riders were clear in Category 6, but being chased by 25.
So all but one of our race categories now having made the way to the top of the first climb, the first checkpoint. That's the Zurich climb here. 48 meters of ascent on the Zurich climb. There are 38 meters of ascent, 10 meters less on the Heart of Switzerland climb, if you don't include the climb bit before it. Personally, I would include it in. Every meter going uphill counts, very much so. Now, in with Simon Walter at the moment, the rider from Germany here today. Interesting little bit of headwear there. Please tell me that's an ice pack on the back of your neck.
I think it probably is.
Do you know what? It is.
Right,
there we go. So
it's cool.
I'm absolutely loving that, and you can see ice vest on as well.
And a spare one as well.
This is what you need. Preparation is everything. Simon Walter keeping that core temperature down. It looks like he's subterranean down in the garage. Anyway, I think it's below ground.
I think he always looks like it's in the garage or he's in the cellar or something like that.
Yeah,
That's where his
keeping that temperature constant.
Yeah.
Really
Exactly.
easy to manage then.
Exactly. Well, this pack are rolling and rolling strongly. Category 2, they've gone over the Zurich climb. They're heading, the next segment for them is the first sprint of the day, the Heart of the Switzerland sprint. Category 6.
We lost one of our team.
Category 4 are
Camille Danes has gone.
In fact, Category 6 are over the Heart of the Switzerland climb for the first time as well.
But he hasn't crossed the KOM yet.
But Category 1 are
Must have had to drop it.
6 kilometres. They're the last riders out of the start pen today. They are on the descent at the moment, but not the main descent yet. There's lots of little ups and downs on this section at the top, and Hayden Pucker on the front of the pack. They're sitting around zone 1, zone 2, a little push into zone 3 there, but they're not moving particularly fast. It's a good steady start from them.
So category 1 on the left-hand side of your screen, the riders just out from the pens, last 7K into their race. A quick reminder, the first checkpoint at 12 kilometers it starts. That's the first of our climbs. It's the checkpoint itself at 13.4K. Just looking on the right-hand side of the screen, those are the category 6 riders. Now, they have already not only gone over the first of our climbs, but they've also gone through the second of our climbs as well. So the second climb, Emil Ivanov, along with John Backer, Santeri Quickstrom, Rune Nielsen, and Joshua Kalangad were scoring points at that point in the mountains competition. So Back now leading with 2 of the climbs complete. And that is John Back leading with 9 points. Santeri Quickstrom going through, taking 3rd place twice. He's on 6 points. Kalangad with 5 points, a 2nd and a 5th place. And the rest of the riders only scoring in 1 of the climbs. So at the moment, Back leading in category 6 in the climbs competition. In terms of the sprint competition, it was Back again who scored maximum points, 5 points for Back. So John Back leading the competition in terms of the climbs. Sprints, Vega 5 points, Warren 4, Nielsen 3, Quickstrom 2, Barbier taking 1 point. Category 6. Category 5 have also made their way through the Heart of Switzerland sprint. Tabares leading through from Mazaros, from Kendall, Warren and Laszlo. They've also made their way over the second of our climb. So, as they went over the top, Nicholas Spratt scoring 5 points on our second climb. Added to the
next one, the sprint at 27K.
And we know
hopefully
he's doing the maths and
it's
doing
like
the
easy-ish towards
So
that.
not surprised.
has 9 points so far in the climbs competition in category 5. Theme has 6, Laszlo has 5, Grafescu 4, 3 for
Still a long way to go.
Mule with 2 and Zimmerman with 1, but Mule and Zimmerman not scoring in the second of our climbs over the top. At the moment, Spratt leading that out, and Nicholas Spratt, a master when it comes to working out the maths. He's a very handy man with a database.
So I understand. He's also a handyman on a bike. He is indeed.
He is.
So category 6 at the moment, Scott Farrow on your...
hang on a minute. I'm just going to bring it to people's attention. The fueling in the commentary box is as important as the fueling elsewhere. I know a few people have done Haribos on the way through. My Haribo's missing.
Did you want some?
Oh, yes, please.
Hold on, everybody, whilst I pass Matt.
Thank you very much. I'll keep the. Thank you very much. I'll keep the commentary going because Jonathan Vega on our screens at the moment with Gassis, Zimil, Emil Ivanov, and Joshua Kalangad. They are our riders on screen at the moment in category 6. Dylan Kennett is the man who is leading this out from Ola Warren, but Warren with the big kick goes over the top. He's got the sprint suit of the skin suit of the Masters competition. This sprint is going to be really key in category 6. It was Vega, Warren, Nielsen, Quickstrom and Barbier who took the points on sprint 1. Sprint number 2 complete. Thank you very much. Warren takes maximum points that time through, and behind him I think Vega has only taken 3rd place by my reckoning. We'll wait for those points to be confirmed, but that should put Warren up into the skin suit as our leader. It does indeed.
Well, Ola Warren doing what Ola Warren does and picking up points and wearing a sprint skin suit. Rune Nielsen in the mix as well as they go through that sprint for that time. So Quickstrom, Calderon, Vega picking up those rest of those points too. Confirming 33 riders in the leading group in category 6, all still together. They've got a 43-second gap on a group of 3 riders behind. Category 1 are at the 11.4 kilometre mark. They're nearly at the base of the descent off of the plateau here in Switzerland. It's about to get spicy because they're about to run into the Zurich climb as Mikhail Kaminski takes a rest and drops his heart rate down to 123. He's zone 1. He's rolling nice and steady. He's getting ready for what will be the first climb segment of the championships.
And I do wonder sometimes our riders are very, very Katie, about what they necessarily on social media and their form and how they're going. What they can't hide is their performances in the racing. And at the moment, Jason Osborne is hiding nothing. He's already on the front here at 11.5 watts per kilo. Here we go. We're on the first climb. I'm going to put the pressure down, and Ollie Jones instantly answers. So, big kick from Jones. Now Ruben Dont comes up on to the wheels. The rider there just making his way up towards the front. Ruben Dont, the rider who has taken the most sprint wins on MyWhoosh overall. First rider to go over 40.
Do you know, I think it's really telling. Jason Osborne has gone, I took the climb competition last year. I'm going to be in it this year. I'm looking at GC. I'm looking at climbs.
Thanks,
I'm
man.
looking at the sprint competition as well. I'm looking at wrapping everything up. Yeah. But can I tell you something? Jason Osborne went, boom, Ollie Jones went. That is a marked man. Daniel Turek in the mix here as well. He's in the pack a little bit further behind for the Alpha Jaw Space Cowboys. But do you know what? One of the things that I really liked there was Ruben Dont's response.
Yes, very quick.
You know, Dont for Zero Ducks Racing really moved in quickly. It's a short, sharp climb. The points are available, and someone who is a sprinter also stands a great opportunity in these climbs today.
Remy Confession moving to the front of this group. The Frenchman just squeezing on those pedals, keeping that chain tight for the Wenger boys.
Here we go.
Moves to the front. Osborne kicks once again now, 12.5 watts per kilo. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Well, Osborne has kicked here. Dont leading the chase behind once again. Dont is constantly trying to make sure that there's no distance being given here. The Zero Ducks Racing rider Dont on the same squad as now Pedersen, Jakob Freiland, and Bjorn Andreasen. At the moment, very much instrumental in the chase. Osborne's broken the elastic. He's gone clear. He's backed off the pace, but Dont here is really kicking onwards. So Dont is going to take the second set of points available. That's 4 points. Melostic in the mix as well as Power, Kaplinski, and Knudsen. Interesting moves over the top of the first climb. Osborne drops the power to 3.9. I was worried that he was just going to keep on going there. He's chosen not to this time around. So Osborne with 5 points, Ruben Dont with 4, Linda Melostic with 3, Michael Knudsen with 2, and Kel Power coming through with 1 point. They are the leaders over the top of the climb in Category 1. And Category 1 coming over the top of the climb, almost identical times to Category 3 leader and Category 4 leaders as well. They really are mixed in together.
Yeah, they are indeed.
Okay, let's take you through the riders up in our leading group in Category 1 over the top. Osborne came through clear by 5 seconds, and there were 32 riders together. There are 3 riders who have been distanced from this group: Maz Buster, Andrea Di Resno, and Jan Jasbeck. They're sitting, Buster, the nearest rider, 18 seconds off the leader, 10 seconds off the back of the lead bunch. Jan Jasbeck, and Adrian Alvarado and Di Renza all distanced a little bit further back with work to do, but we've still got plenty more racing to decide who is going to come out on top in Category 1. Let's dive in with Category 5 at the moment. They are the leaders that we're seeing on our screens at the moment at the 40.3k marker. They've been over both of our climbs, and they are heading now in towards the Old Town Sprint. Tabares at the moment on the front here in the jersey, leading this out at the moment, but this I think is a lead out for Kendall, as surely he's not aiming to go all the way to the line here. Remember, this sprint coming up 41.4k. Luke Kendall all over that move there, and you can just see sitting on the heels here. So interesting move being made on the front of this race field at the moment here on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. Luke Kendall now sees the rest of the riders coming up around him. He's kicking once again. Laszlo now into the mix. Joe Warren into the mix, and this is definitely going to be very, very telling indeed how this plays out as they come in through the sprint here. So Kendall at the moment in the mix. Remember, Ola Warren took this sprint in Category 6. It's Joel Warren, the youngster, challenging Luke Kendall at the moment. Laszlo is in the mix, so is Masaros. 4 riders have got a gap, and I'll tell you something, that is a good sized gap. It's 8 seconds to the group behind. Are they sitting up? They are. Oh, I'm not sure I'll be doing that. I think I'll be making them work behind. 8 seconds is a good sized gap off the front of this race field. At this stage, at 41.6 seconds, nearest rider to them, Tabares, absolutely left in the dust as they kicked on there. A brilliant riding by the leaders that go over the top. Kendall taking 5 points, Warren taking 4, Laszlo taking 2, Mazaros taking 1. And in that Category 5 sprint competition, that really has shaken things up as they came through that time around.
Did indeed, didn't it? So really, really interesting to see, and a lot of riders equal on points now.
So let's see how this continues onwards. We've got Kendall is 8 points, Tabares and Mazaros and Warren all on 6. Laszlo on 4 points. Interestingly, 10 potential top spots, and at the moment it's taken by 5 riders.
Yes, and 45 riders in contention in Category 5 in that leading group.
Let's go back to Category 1. They're currently at the 16.8 kilometre marker, so making progress, but they've got a way to go to their next checkpoint. That's at 27 kilometres for the first of the sprints. As we go into Category 2, Marcin Trojnowski at the moment leading this group out 3 second gap back to Machado, Ortiz and the rest of the group. So Trojnowski at the moment looking comfy off the front of this group. He's just tapping out that rhythm very nicely indeed in Category 2 on the front here. Just I'm really interested to see how this plays out as we move onwards. 24.5k into the race. We're on one of those rises. It rises up, then we've got a little dip down. Then we kick again over the top into the sprint, 27k. So there's a bit of distance to go. I'm interested the way that there's no panic for breakaway riders at the moment.
Well, it's interesting because Trojnowski, part and parcel of Team Balbina, you know, they're a really experienced squad. Krasnich, Mendakowicz, Trojnowski, Milostic and Gorjank. They really are. You know, they know what they're doing. It'll be a plan. We've now started to see riders start to chase. So that too is getting interesting.
It certainly is interesting. The riders at the moment continuing to push. We will see how they go. At the moment, that move on the front, though, from Trojnowski has now elicited a response, and it's come from Bert Cahill, who goes on to the heels, who goes on to the wheels here. Machado, Hertz and Co. Moving up as well. So Machado out of the saddle, kicks on down on those pedals, makes a move up to the front of this race. Jesse Langevin answers, and sometimes it's the response that we're looking at that's important rather than the lead. Mendakowicz is there, Pardon Cooper is responding, Langevin has responded, Mayer has responded to the move there off the front by Trojnowski. Khan sits on the wheels, Bert Cohen this time in the mix. We are at 25.5k. That little foray off the front there by Trojnowski has definitely stirred things up, but the group is still all together as they came over the top of the first of our climbs, the Zurich climb. There were 56 riders together. We're heading into our first sprint, and that is still a massive group. There are 1 or 2 riders have been dispatched from the lead group, but we're running into this sprint. Who is going to lead this? We're going to see team tactics coming into play here, where the teams start to decide, actually, we need to work cohesively together to break this race, to put in a good sprint. Langevin's team, the Windmill and Eiffel squad, Langevin, Van der Leeke, Fournier, along with Boulanger and Pardon Cooper, is a very, very strong squad with good sprinter kick, with a great kick. Jesse Langevin. Langevin definitely the rider to watch out for as he is making his way up around the front. He's not letting go of the Yanks, and his squad is good. Pardon Cooper is in there, his teammate, just hovering around the very front of the group. Interesting to see Alexei Kalman in there, David Nitko as well. But in front of the race, Julian Hertz up there, Tevs Gorjank, in the mix. Betty, again, Josiah Betty is amazing in his skill at staying in and around the very front of the group without putting his nose out into the wind at all.
But there are riders putting their nose out into the wind right now at the 26.7 kilometre marker, and it's Ross Fawcett and Vidal Mayer. Jesse Langevin is on the wheel. Langevin is on your screen as well. He's in the top left-hand corner. Machado, Nitko, and are on the screen, but at the moment it's Fawcett versus Langevin, Langevin versus Fawcett. I just had to draw a breath, but Langevin goes up and over the top. Ross Fawcett looks like he'll come through in second with Vidal Mayer, and it was indeed the young rider Kamadeva who is in there as well.
So Jesse Langevin taking away top spot there as he comes in through. Langevin doing the business for the Wimbledon Eiffel Squad. He'd been held in position up by the very top of the bunch by Pardy Cooper on his team, along with the rest of that group. So Langevin with 5 points, Mayer with 4, Fawcett with 3, Cahill coming through for 2, despite that long range move by Drzezinski not coming to anything. Julian Hertz goes through. Langevin absorbed in the group. Phil Gray's on the front, and this is where they need to watch out for a UAE clan team counter-attack. Classic move from them at that point. Now, we're in with Fabio Mancino, Jakub Kowalski, along with Nicholas Arrego, Carsten Mayer up there. Graham Pearce in there. Met Graham at the Cycle Races about a year ago.
Did you?
Did, yeah.
There you go.
One of the really nice guy from the Wharfdale Valley. He's a really strong rider as well, in person as well as on MyWhoosh. At the moment, nicely in the group, looks like Pino in the mix as well. But at 40k, we are running our way. We're still 1.5k, just shy of 1.5k to make our way to the Old Town Sprint. So this is going to be really interesting, Category 4. In terms of the
big push going on the front, though. Jakub Kowalski is not waiting for the sprint. He's going long here. Pearce on your screen, Arrego on your screen as well. But the push has come early.
It really has. I'm just taking a little bit of a check that Kawasaki, his team aren't going to be, in theory, contesting this, but it looks to me like it's just an early break to try and go for a long one on the way in. It's a good move, but the problem is you've got Bartosz Falana, who scored 5 points in the Heart of Switzerland sprint. You've got the Aidan Sinclair, who we know is strong and he's going to be up for it. Francis Pino, who sprints really well. He took 3 points last time.
Kawanaki's teammate.
And Schneider up there as well. So Kawasaki just looking to take away some points.
But we're definitely not going uphill like the map says.
Aidan Sinclair's and the Bartosz Falanas. I'm not sure. It's a long way to go to the banner. I know they're turned onto the straight, but it is up in front of them. Kawasaki, though, continuing to push here. He's going to get this, and he's going to mop up the maximum.
We're down to 3 in our team there.
They are closing.
That sucks a little bit.
Sinclair now starting to wind this up.
And this is a team strategy because Kawasaki and Pino are teammates. Pino is running onto the back wheel of Aidan Sinclair. Aidan Sinclair is now pushing on. Pino kicks again. Kawanaki's going to take the maximum points away from Aidan Sinclair, but Sinclair's going to get 4.
You've got to do this climb twice.
Kawanaki's going to have to move to get underneath that.
It's going to be punchy.
But what a team competition. You know, Kawasaki went long.
1.1k.
Sinclair had to battle, and all Pino
but there's a kicker before it.
Sinclair.
It's more like 1.5, maybe.
Put in a serious racing move.
Maybe 1.6k in total.
Sinclair.
So
we do it twice.
Sinclair at the moment on the front of the Group 2, jerseys to his name.
Top 3 times count for your team. We had 5, we got 2. No, 3 left.
Algeros taking 2, Restico taking 1.
Mohamed's just crossed the line for the sprint, but he's way down. So
3. One
it's still good to have 4 in the race.
2 riders behind then. That's Falana and Kawasaki.
Because you never know who's going to get annulled.
Scored 5 points
for whatever reason
on one sprint. They haven't scored twice on the way through. In fact, nobody apart from Pino and Sinclair actually scored points in both sprints that we've had so far. Sinclair being ahead by
Doing about 3 minutes down.
both. Sinclair taking
It's all good though.
second on both sprints.
At least he's still in the race.
Pino taking third, but that is enough to give 1 and 2 to Sinclair and Pino.
Yes, and Sinclair sat in polka dots and sprint. Dylan Kennett now with John back in the Category 6 race. They've gone off the front, the two of them, and
just gone through the sprint banner.
I know they have at the 51.8 kilometre marker. They are the furthest group of riders down the road. The Heart of Switzerland sprint for the second time. It's going to be interesting because it will give us a really clear shot as to how big this gap really is. But the two riders, John Back and Dylan Kennett, are down the road.
They are now. Just taking a look in Category 6 at the point scores at the moment. It's really interesting actually, because there's only a few people have scored in 2 sprints on the way in the 2 sprints on the way through here. The key people are one
Next job.
who's got a first
Get up this kicker.
and a second.
Get up the KOM.
And he's actually scored in the 3rd sprint as well, so he's got a 3rd. So he's got 1, 2, and 3. Warren leading the sprint competition 12 points. Rune Nielsen with 9. Jonathan Faker with 6. Meanwhile, you can see the points that they amassed that time: 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 points on the way through. Quickstrom currently in 4th place, despite only scoring 1 point in that last sprint, because scoring 3 points in that last sprint just really changes the mix-up here on the way through. So I think we've got a real good competition here, because although Ola Warren has got 12, there are plenty of riders prepared to challenge him, and he only needs to get this wrong once and he could drop back down the standings.
Well, I think it's really interesting too, because Kennett and Back now have 41 seconds on this group of 31 riders. They come out of this sprint here and they then transition to the base of the Heart of Switzerland climb for the second time. That's at the 57.5 kilometre marker. They then come off the top of that through the Old Town sprint, and then, well, it's a short run to the line. This is quite strategic. There's less than 10k of racing to go in Category 6, and 2 riders have 41 seconds.
On a group of 31.
No,
it's a
look at the
big
gap.
group. Yeah, it's big. Is it enough?
Back and Kennett pretty much have now got a 2-up time trial to the finish.
Yeah. Do you commit now?
Yes.
You've gone this far. Do you keep going?
Yes.
No pressure, guys. That was yes from Emma. So, yeah, if you're going to heed Emma's advice, keep on going, guys. Okay, let's dive back in with Category 1, who were the last riders come out of the pen. You can see at the moment that there's a real chase on behind the leading group here to come back into the wheels riders out around this circuit. And it is a lap, so you will see Category 1 catching riders in Category 6 who are a full lap of this loop ahead of them on the way through. So the express train will be coming whistling through the station where the riders, I feel like they're stood pretty much in those categories below Category 1, such as the pace and speed of Category 1. At the moment, this leading group are relatively together as we, on a downhill, go to Rick Van Erck. For those of you not watching, we normally go to Rick, or we don't normally watch the Sunday race, but we go to Rick on a climb invariably. When we don't, we actually make a point of it because it is so rare. But Rick Van Erck in that Netherlands National Champions jersey in here. So the question is Rick looking forward?
There you go. Look, he's just smiling off his jersey.
Exactly. Is Rick looking forward to 7 stages in a row?
Oh yes.
That's the question.
But he's got a day off because he's got the Sunday race.
I'm not sure. Rick, are you taking a day off on the Sunday race? But let us know. That's going to be interesting to see.
He might make his mind up later.
Well, yeah, I think I would. I think that would be my move. So Rick Van Erck at the moment nicely tucked in with this leading group. I don't know whether Rick improves with a stage race or deteriorates.
Well, do you know one of the really interesting things? He's part and parcel of that Muscles Won't Complain squad, and I think the key focus for them has got to be Jan Yazbek winning the Young Riders competition. So for me, he's got a real battle on his hands because he's going up against Pavel Skierski, Linda Milostic, and of course Jakob Freiland. But I mean, he can do it. I mean, he is a strong all-round rider and racer, and with the support of his team, well, I wonder whether that is their plan.
It could well be. You'll have to wait to find out. Lots of speculation, of course,
yes,
all the way through the championships here on the MyWhoosh YouTube channel with myself, Matt Payne, and Emma Martin. We're here right the way through the championships, the women's and the men's races live, or of course, on review if you are choosing to look back a little bit later on in the day, maybe mixing up your viewing. It's great to have you with us. Please do remember, subscribe to the MyWhoosh YouTube channel or to Twitch TV to be notified whenever we go live. There's lots of racing on. One stream which covers the women's and men's, so you don't need to search between the races for the second of those streams if you are watching. So very much a case of seeing how the racing progresses. If you are on those views, if you're watching, you'll be able to see these riders all the way through the week. Marcin Trojanowski, Jesse Langevin, Maciej Mendakowicz and Cahill on your screens. At the moment, they're on day one. They're looking fresh. They're looking ready. We will see whether they're going to be looking as fresh and ready at the top of this climb. We're at 33.1 kilometers. We are part way, almost to the top of Heart of Switzerland climb. This is the first time up this climb for this group. There's more points in that mountains competition at stake.
There's around 650 meters to go at the moment. Trojanowski, Trujillo, Cahill all towards the front of the group here. Vidal-Mer, Galjazbek are in the mix as well. But we've now got a rider just starting to push off the front of the pack. SS is there. Pardon Cooper is the rider, and it's a good strong pace he's setting off the front of this group. Trujillo is giving chase, and you can see the push here from the pack not really coming. So Pardon Cooper still setting a really strong pace here.
And they've got to come round this right-hand turn. It's a little bit of a blind turn into this. Pardon Cooper, Trujillo in there. Now we start to see Cahill kicking down. He's on the heels of SS here. Cahill and SS, 1 and 2 in that order at the top of the first climb. They're battling it out. They're looking to close down the gap on Trujillo and Pardon Cooper, but they're not making enough ground, or are they? Cahill puts in another dig here. SS is looking to match him as they come round this turn. The banner is on its way. Trujillo holds on. Cahill, I think, takes second. Pardon Cooper in third with SS in fourth. That is all subject to information because that was super quick on the way in over the line. Those points are going to be critical.
Wow. So we have 51 riders in that leading group in Category 2, and Nicholas Trujillo picks up 5 points. Cahill picks up 4. I think that will mean he keeps his jersey. Pardon Cooper takes 3 points after leading that out. SS takes 2, and Giselle Betty comes through for 1 point.
And those points will be added in to the climbs competition. Cahill should be a little further ahead of SS at the top of the standings. Trujillo, although he took the maximum points there, only had 2 points from the preceding climb. So it should keep him in the mix, but not quite there. So our riders out on the race route across all 6 of our race categories, Category 6 right through to Category 1. Just in with Category 2 at the moment, in with Cahill, our mountains leader at this stage, but still plenty of time for that to change across all 7 of our 8 stages. If you are putting in, please, to see categories on the YouTube comments, cut and paste is a wonderful thing, and we do appreciate it as you go through. Unfortunately, I wish we could press the buttons, but we don't. Actually, I'm really glad we don't press the buttons because our team behind the scenes do an amazing job. They're covering 6 races simultaneously, trying to make sure we catch all the riders at the right time, on the right point on the race route, and cover all those categories. Always entertaining to try and keep up with all of those. Fortunately, it's not me who has to control that. I'd be rubbish at it. I can't play the piano, and I think it's a bit like that. You need to be kind of piano playing to choose the camera shots. Now, right hand side of your screen, Category 5 at the moment at the 53.8 K marker, and Category 1 also coming through, but they're at the 29.2K. So basically, this is giving you a really good example of the laps that these riders are on their way around the circuit. So Lucas Penner on the right hand side of your screen is ensconced firmly within a bunch of riders around him who are the Category 1 leaders, but they are separated by a full lap
They are indeed. And,
not confusing much, honest.
It's not. Should we talk just a little bit about what's coming up for the riders?
Yes.
Because today is a pretty flat course as the opening stage 1 here in Switzerland, and it's a long race at nearly 71 kilometres. Tomorrow it's a hilly stage in California, much shorter at 53 kilometres, but a significant more climbing for them. Then we move to Hederiat for stage 3. A rolling stage there, 66.6k, similar amount of climb to today.
Similar, it's almost identical.
It is almost identical, but that is quite interesting for the first 3 stages. Then it gets hilly. We head towards the mountains because on stage 4 we go to Bhutan, 1,110 metres of climbing that day.
It's not hilly.
Over
That's
68 kilometres.
41.4k.
Then the
That's the
mountains
sprint.
of Colombia for stage 5. 58 kilometres of racing, 1,669 metres of climbing. And then we have a rest day. I'm going to pause there because we are taking a look at where Nicholas Spratt is at the moment, because he and Lucas Petter are down the road in Category 5. They're in this Category 1 bunch because Category 1 bunch is 1 full lap of the course behind. 24-second gap back to Dieter Zimmermann and the group in Category 5. And in fact, you can just make them out on the top right-hand corner of your screen in that overhead shot aerial map. There's a large light blue bunch behind. That's where they are. But at the moment, Petter and Spratt nicely in that Category 1 group.
They are. They're getting some shelter in there. They're able to draft from each other. All groups are able to draft, so irrespective of what rider category you are. You can just see they're about to approach their last climb checkpoint of today's stage. They're making their way up this. The climbing starts soon. You can see, if you're not a regular, top right-hand side of your screen, that is the radar view. You'll see there's a red line tracing its way from right to left. And that is the terrain that's coming up, the rider's position indicated by that yellow vertical line and the arrow over the top of it. So that gives you the position on course. The riders going into that climb very shortly indeed. Currently on a flat section, of course. Spratt and Petter at the moment leading Category 5. Category 6 is John Back and Dylan Kennett. Interested to see how they're going at the moment. The gap is holding, if not stretched, just taking a little bit of a check because it will be dependent on the terrain that they're on. They're currently at the 58k, so they're on the climb. I think the chasers behind are also onto the climb because that will give us a good indication. 58, 300 meters. So they're both onto the climb, both the leaders and the chasing group behind. 2 leaders, that is John Back and Dylan Kennett, being chased by Toro, the rider leading on the right-hand side of your screen, along with Ivanov, along with Londano and Quickstrom. So the bunch is on its way. Back is going to take the points on the top of the climb. No surprises there. Dylan Kennett is holding the wheels. The question for me is the agreement between Back and Kennett with that 32-second gap. Back takes the intermediates, but Kennett takes the stage win.
Who knows if they even have an agreement? Dylan Kennett, part and parcel of the BMC 6 crew. John Back, an individual rider, as we watch Emil Ivanov want to pick up the rest of the points underneath the polka dot banner. He does so. Ivanov has already on board from the second climb of the race. That's going to add to his tally and move him up.
So the riders at the moment on to the climb as they make their way up here. So at the moment the riders are on the way in. Score points, taking 3 points on the last climb, 5 points on the first climb up the heart of Switzerland. He now has points in 3rd place. The rider in front of him is Santeri Quickstrom overall in the climbs competition, tied on points but scored in all 3 climbs, so scored in the Zurich climb as well. The leader, John Back, 5 points in this last climb, 5 points on the first climb of Zurich,
4 points on the Heart of Switzerland climb, so he's right up there. The only climb that Dylan Kennett scored points on was this one, where he's in that breakaway. But the time gap is going to be critical here between these chasers and the leaders, and how much work do they want to do to pull that gap down?
It's interesting, isn't it? Because between the sprint and the climb, so in the last 6.5 kilometres, the gap's come down from 41 to 38, so really quite immaterial. But they've still got quite some way to go. They're at the 58.6 kilometre marker at the top of the climb. The finish line comes at 70, so 12 kilometres of racing. Can the gap close it down? Do Back and Kennett want to stay? I think they probably do. It's going to be an interesting race.
Just take a little look at Nicholas Spratt versus to Lucas Petter. We're going to watch the riders as they continue to push here. So let's take a quick check. We're going to just take a quick break as we watch these riders going onwards.
So Spratt continues to dig here, closing down that gap on Petter as we drop back in with the Category 2 pack. Category 2, 41.7 kilometre marker. They are Old Town Sprint in Category 2.
So our riders up on to the later stages of the racing. We'll be back very shortly.
So Category 2 continue to roll. Torres SS on the front of the pack. The pack settling back down again after the sprint segment and all coming back together again. So Peter Milostic in the pack right at the moment. Gal Yazbek is there with him. So is Ivan Yuki and Jamie Cahill. They're on the right-hand side of your screen in Category 2. On the left-hand side of your screen, there's an attack off the front from Jason Osborne. Interestingly, Vuyasin, Don and Thrall have gone with him. Pedersen's on the front of the pack behind, but Lionel Vuyasin right onto Jason Osborne's wheel. I've been waiting and watching for Vuyasin. Vuyasin has been, he's been posting across social media Sinclair about that taper and his planning and his week before the championships. Well, it's all paying off right now because he's in the right place at the right time, and that's on the wheel of the world champion. Ruben Dont is there as well. Tom Thrall crossing the gap, and now there's a panic from behind as to who comes to the fore. Well, the chase is on, but it's the chase at the moment for Thomas Thrall, getting onto the wheel of Dont, Yasin and Osborne. The pack now at 3 seconds, and Jasper Paradians on the front of the group. Michael Knudsen is there, so is Kel Power. But when you take a look at the riders in the mix here, interesting selection at the 36.9 kilometre marker. They've gone up and over the second of the category, and at that point in the race, Jason Osborne over 2 seconds ahead of Dont, Paradians, Milostic and Power. 32 riders in that leading group, but now, well, Tom Thrall on the front, the Canadian champion Ruben Dont, Lionel Yasin and Jason Osborne. Zach Nair now the rider that picks it all up and closes down and crosses the divide between the chase group and the leading group. And I'll tell you, the rider who's coming next is Linda Milostic, the young rider from Australia.
Really interesting. The race is breaking up. Don right on the front at the moment. Nair, Osborne, Vajasi, Milostic, Knudsen in that order. Attacks keep on coming up. 37.6k. It's a nothing kilometre. It should be absolutely zero happening, but there's not. This is bike racing, and there's action all the way through. We're going to dive in with category 3 and catch up with the action on 3. In category 3 at the moment, that 15-second gap is there. It's Manarelli who's got the gap to the bunch behind, because at the moment they're at the 51.2k marker, 500 meters to go to the sprint, and now we're going to start to see this sprint unfold in the category 3 race. The real battle here. Mason Rocket on 9 points, Chicors on 7, tied with Corrales on 7. Manarelli, not having scored any points so far, has gone on the attack behind. Rocker is battling it out with Corrales. That's on the left-hand side of your screen. Rocker and Corrales at the moment separated by 2 points. Chicors not in the mix at the moment, and it looks like Corrales has waved the white flag to Mason Rocker. Rocker has gone. He's gone hard enough. Rocker sits down. He eases off the pressure here. He takes away the 4 points. Corrales takes the 3. The bunch behind are going to mop up the points that come through. I think it's going to be Cunningham, Solinsky, along with Christiansen as they go in underneath the banner. But those points will be critical as we move forward. So Manarelli scores 5 points. You've got 4 points for Rocker. You have got 3 points for Corrales, 2 for Cunningham, and 1 for Christiansen. But Manarelli at the moment has not eased off the pedals. He's keeping that chain tight at nearly 5 watts per kilo. He's on a breakaway mission at the moment. He's got the gap, and the rest of the riders, well, they're pretty much scrambling.
Yeah, they are indeed. Rocker currently sitting on 13 points in that sprint competition. Corrales on 10. That's going to be interesting as we keep rolling. In terms of the overall at the moment, Manarelli was 6 seconds clear of Rocker and Corrales, who were 7 seconds clear of a group of 50 riders. Well, at the 57.4 kilometre marker, this is the Category 4 race, and well, actually, it's the leader in the Category 4 race, and he's solo. Aidan Sinclair, the rider wearing the polka dots and the sprint competition jersey, and he's on your screen at the moment. You can see the amount of effort and work going in here. He's got a 24-second gap over the chase group at the moment, and well, he's on now on the climb.
So Aidan Sinclair on the climb, the big bunch behind looking to close him down. Sinclair's gap 3 points in terms of the sprint competition, with 1 sprint left to go. In terms of the climbs competition, Sinclair has a 6-point gap. With this last climb to go, he could literally just sit out this run to the summit.
It's not Aidan Sinclair. As in sitting up and riding to the summit.
It's not his style, but
Exactly.
it is Aidan Sinclair.
Yes,
But it may not be his style, but it is definitely,
it's him, but
Yeah.
it's not his style to do that.
that's technically more correct and less confusing. Okay, not confusing at all. The racing with 6 categories out on the course simultaneously as well, of course, as all of the different competitions. The sprint, the climb, along with the GCC, that's the Gulf Council competition for those people who are racing in a Gulf Council country. Our younger riders competition, our masters competition, the sprints, climbs, the GC, and the team competition
Well,
all
I'll
in
tell
play
you
and
what.
all with prizes at stake.
Sit back, enjoy the racing. We'll try and break it down for you. We're breaking it down at the moment is SS pushing on the front of this race at the moment. So Marcin Trałjanowski was out front and SS pushing on right now. Gorjanc, Kalman, Langevin, Nitko, Carsten and Trujillo all in the mix.
All in the mix at the moment, but let's see how that then plays out. SS with 2 seconds gap at the moment, 47.8k is still a decent distance to the next of our sprints. That's at 51.7. Meanwhile, let's go back into category 1 at the moment. Neil Fryatt, Ollie Jones and co on the move, and Neil Fryatt is the man who's kicking down hard here. 41.4k the banner, 41.2k covered at the moment for Don, who's pursuing Fryatt. Fryatt is going to take this by some margin. We know Fryatt's got a big kick on him. He takes that in style. That was a nice move by Fryatt. Don closing down, Paradis is closing down, so is Skierski, but Fryatt got the jump on them all.
Yeah, he did indeed, and he's doing exactly what Neil Fryatt can do. Absolutely brilliant to see. One of the things to note is that everybody is, I was about to say everybody's back in the pack, but I was just looking to see where they are. Yes, they are back in the pack. Jason Osborne down in about 26th place, which is why I couldn't find him. Neil Fryatt takes 5 points.
Not any longer, he's not.
Ruben Don takes 4, Jasper Paradians takes 3, Pavel Skierski takes 2, Ollie Jones takes 1, and the world champion Jason Osborne attacks.
So indeed, Jason Osborne was in the group. He's not anymore. Counter-attackers, they've come through the sprint.
Oh, it's
in
such a
onto
classic
the
tactic.
It is, and we're seeing that move, that attack by Osborne. I mean, he was up on the watts. He's down in 26th place. He's at the back of the group. He ramps it up, and you could just see him screaming through that group after the sprints, looking to break clear. 42k covered of this 70.8k kilometre route. Now, solo leader, category 1, last riders out the pen, left-hand side of your screen. Solo leader, right-hand side of your screen. Dylan Kennett on the front on a breakaway at the moment.
24 seconds on John back at the sprint, and now he's on the way to the finish line.
And he's holding that time gap to back. He's holding off the group behind. Kennett is looking to take away the lead in the overall here. So Kennett at the moment on the move. So much for the fact he can't climb.
Well, I tell you, he's executing one of his own race plans at the moment.
Okay, don't tell us what the race plan is. Don't give his secrets away. So we have Kennett on the move on the front and still holding position. John back, the rider chasing on the left-hand side of your screen at the moment. So back with work to do to close down onto Kennett. Dylan Kennett at the moment. You can see, fortunately, his speed is much better than his choice of jerseys, it has to be said. That's a super bright jersey on the screen. He's definitely suffering at the moment. Come on, Dylan. Dig in deep, mate. You know what it is to win a world championship title on the track. This isn't flat. This isn't riding around a velodrome.
Well, all I can say is it is great to drop into one of the riders who are leading at the moment and just see how hard it is to put in that performance. And category 6, Kennett is at the 69.5 kilometre marker. He has got 1.2k to go. That is all that is left for Dylan Kennett, but he has got to get over that line.
So Kennett has to put in a kilo effort. 4 laps of the track. That's all that's left for Kennett on his way in towards the finish. Behind him, back, he's looking like he's being caught by the chase group behind. Everybody's queuing up to have a go now, and you can see the moment that they get onto the wheels, another kick goes. Lodano along with Skierski
along with Evanoff, are all mobbing over the top. Dano, the first of the four here in pursuit of Kennett. Kennett has got the gap. He's going to set himself a decent lead in the overall. 800 meters to go for Kennett and less. 3 laps of the track in tracky terms for the former track world champion Dylan Kennett.
Well, it is indeed, and Kennett continues to push. Montoya now comes to the front of the group behind. Hadjic is there, Gosler, Toro, Londano, Newman, Fager. They are all lining up behind in what is going to be one big sprint for second place. They are 800 meters from the finish line. Kennett doesn't have 800 meters left to go. He's about to see the 400 meters.
So he's on his way. He's kicking on at the moment. Let's see how he goes. Here comes the banner. Here comes the line here. It's Dylan Kennett coming in to take away a win here today. Dylan Kennett leads the race into the finish. The first of our men's finisher here on the MyWhoosh Championship. Kennett takes away the win. He crouches over the handlebars. He will take a substantial lead as the sprint unfolds behind. Kennett in 1. Who's going to take second place? It's going to be Gosler. Gosler comes out at the right time. Evanoff is going to take third place here today. Skierski, I think, in 4th. They have lost a little bit of time on Kennett. They didn't get the timing right on the catch, but in the Category 6 race, Kennett in 1, Gosler in 2, Skierski in 3, Evanoff in 4th place. He was hit by Skierski on the line. The difference between Evanoff and Skierski is 0.05 of a second. Nothing in that at all. Now, that means that Kennett will go onwards wearing the jersey of our overall leader and winner at the moment of stage 1. Behind him, Gosler, Skierski with time to close down. 13 seconds the gap at the end for Kennett. He was burying himself to the line.
Yeah, he was indeed. Petter is going to be burying himself to the line as well. His gap back to Motmans and Spratt. Wow. Is it far enough? That's what I want to know. You take a look at it. It's around 150 meters at the moment, maybe closer to 200 meters. It could well be enough, but Lucas Petter is going to have to keep pushing all the way.
So Lucas Petter has seen Dylan Kennett. If he's watching the live stream, take away the win. If he's not watching the live stream, he won't know it's doable. But can he do that? He's got 2 chasers behind. Nicholas Spratt, the master mathematician, along with Kevin Motmans, chasing hard at the moment. That time gap, though, is just about holding it 20 seconds. The distance is running down. 70.6 K is where our banner is on the road, and it does mean that the time is ticking away. 1K to go for Petter very shortly indeed. Spratt and Motmans have got the gap on Kunz, on Schiebel. They are behind though, and they are not that far behind, and we're going to start to see the kick. Daniel Kunz looking to come across the gap. Big kick coming from the riders behind at the moment as they start to stretch their legs out here. The riders are jumping all over the road at the moment as they come in towards the finish. This is going to be key. You can just see the leader, though, already around the bend. Motmans and Spratt are in sight. Can they bring them back? This is going to come down to those last few meters. Our leader up at the front is Petter, but it looks like Motmans and Spratt are going to be pulled back into the fold before we get into our last few 100 meters. Petter in 1, just closing down. He's overtaking riders who started 10 minutes in front of him. Such is the speed of Petter. So Petter at the moment leading this out.
He is indeed. So Lucas Petter leading this out with 300 meters. Spratt chasing with Motmans. The pack behind closing in on their wheel very, very fast. Motmans is being caught. Spratt still pushing. Spratt's got he's got 400 meters to go, and I think they're going to come through and fast. Petter can see the line. The pack are coming behind, but they're not going to catch. Lucas Petter today.
So Lucas Petter is going to take away the race win. He'll take the lead in the Masters competition by some margin. He's there in the jersey. He comes up to the line. What a ride by Lucas Petter. He comes in through behind him. The sprint is on, and it's Marius Fossier, the multi-time winner. The last time Fossier goes over the line, he crouches low over the bars. Marius Fossier takes away second place here today. It's Brendan Thornton in third place here, Herring in fourth, Mule in fifth. What a battle to the line. Great to get that view in with Marius Fossier of the BMC 5 squad as they came in through the finish.
Yeah, the Norwegian putting that sprint prowess into place today to take second place. Petter, Fossey, Thornton, Herring, Mule, that top 10 included Arcilla, Cadabona, Lexa, Roas and Thiem. Spratt finished in 11th place after that huge great push he put in to get to that finish line. But 36 riders contending the sprint for second place in category 5. In category 4, it's a little bit deja vu. We've got a rider out front, Steinholm, but the gap is nowhere near big enough. It is just sitting at 6 seconds to the group behind, and the push comes from the group behind to close the gap down right now. At the 65.7
into the map now is
Steinholm
selection time.
deep again. He's
The
digging
last line.
all the way to the finish line, but he's not going to
58.6
make
it
it.
finishes.
He's going to try and get to the
Goes
green
up for a bit
banner,
longer after that.
which is the final sprint
So let's say
checkpoint. Can he make
59k.
That's a big question, because Francis Pino is coming for the points.
Hold on.
Menendez, Sinclair,
It'll be hard.
they are all back in the fold. Sinclair was out front at one point, if you remember last time we were in with category 4. He's back in the fold, but Holm goes
57.5 it starts, but
Pino looks as
there's
though
a little
he
kick
could well
before
take
it.
second place. Aidan Sinclair coming through quickly because he wants to maintain those points in that competition. He's going to take third place and pick up 3 points. Restrepo
Last
picks
lap
up
we
2,
took the kick
Menendez
quite easily,
picks
but
up 1.
I don't know
That's
this
quite
time.
interesting, but it does still mean Sinclair is on top, but Francis Pino closing the gap.
So Pino on 14 points, down to 2 points, the gap between Pino and Sinclair. 16 for Sinclair, 14 for Pino. Behind them, Restrepo, Furlana, Kawanaki behind. They're all 6, then 5 points respectively. Holmes on 5 points, Ace on 2. In fact, there's a raft of riders on 2 points there as well. 11 people scoring points so far in the sprint competition in category 4 today, and that means that Sinclair will go forward with that sprint jersey. They've done all of the climbs. He's got the climbs jersey as well, but there is one jersey he will definitely want, and that is the overall for the win. Neil Unger, though, is looking to stop him, and he's doing it by coming clear. The sprint has gone. He saw Sinclair going for that. They've now gone through. They've gone a further 500-600 meters, and Unger has opened up the gap. Pierce is behind, but he's not responding. He's at 3.5 watts per kilo. 4.5 watts per kilo for Dominic Bergen behind him. That's the category 4 race. Left-hand side of your screen, right-hand side of your screen. It's a day for soloing away from the group here, because Manarelli is still looking incredibly good on the front here. He's clear of Hjulhorst at 26 seconds. The nearest rider at the moment in category 3 to trying to close that gap down.
Yes, it is indeed. Ollie Jones on the front of the category 1 duo. That is Jones and Osborne. That's a name for a new band, isn't it? But Osborne and Jones right up front. They've got 11 seconds now on the group behind. It's being led by Michael Knudsen. He's looking to close that down and get that gap shortened. Zach Nair, Mikhail Kaminsky, Kel Power, Ruben Don, all at the front of that group. They're going to want to be bringing these two back. They're coming up to the 51-kilometre marker. They're coming up to the heart of Switzerland sprint for the second time.
And it's almost synchronicity at work, because we've got Betty and X100 in the mix on the right-hand side. They've got the gap. It's just shy of 30 seconds at the moment from the nearest chasers in category 2 on the right-hand side of the screen. So defending champion Mr. X100 with Josiah Betty in there. Well, I challenged Josiah Betty at the start to take away the race win here today. Well, you can't say he hasn't given it absolutely everything, because he has. He's in a breakaway. They've got 30 seconds. They are at 56k covered. They are about to go on to the big climb. We know both Betty and Miss X100 can deal with a long climb on the way up. Meanwhile, right-hand side of your screen at the bottom, Category 4 leader Neil Ungerer. Left-hand side at the bottom, Category 3 leader. That is Carlos Manarelli on the screen. So 2 solo leaders, 2 pairs, a brace of pairs, as the phrase may be, on the top of your screen. So 4 categories to make their way in at the moment on your screens, just showing up as we've already had Category 5 and Category 6 leaders come over the line. There are riders still racing in both those categories. Keep on going. Remember, it's a long race, plenty of time to make time back.
It is. Neil Ungerer now looking really good here. It's 12 seconds, and it's a really big question as to whether this will hold, whether this will stay. At what point does it unleash behind? Scoron is the rider unleashing it behind. Prenislav Sholong is the rider pushing on here. Graham Peace is in the chase behind, so is Perdincini. Mancino is there as well. Francis Pino, Ryan Giuliano, they're all in the mix. That's the size of the pack running onto the back wheel. They're chasing Neil Ungerer, who has 7 seconds at the moment, and at the head of the race, 1,000 metres to go.
And look how fast that gap has gone down. That was 12 seconds when we came in to the Category 4 race. It's now down to 7. Ungerer has got to keep on trying to dial this all the way in. I think he's starting to fade though, because Scaron's on his way here. Scaron's got a gap of 2 seconds to Bergin, Kaligiros and Co. So can Prenislav Scaron take this? He's out of the saddle here. He's kicking on down hard. He's putting loads of power down. But is it too little, too late? The time is ticking. We've gone past the 70k marker underneath the wheels. We finish at 70.6 kilometers when we get into our finish line. Ungerer leading, Scaron in 2 behind him. You can see the leaders in that chasing bunch are rotating through. The big group is behind him. He has to keep on kicking. He's committed now. Getting a second kick out is going to be difficult. Ungerer at the moment, though, has less than 100 meters to go. He can see the banner here today. It's stage 1 of the men's MyWhoosh Championship for 2026. Category 4 win goes to Neil Ungerer. He comes in over the line ahead of Clinton De Cirillo, Ryan Giuliano, Baptista Guedes, and Nikolai Dambulo, the riders immediately behind him. By my reckoning,
wow.
I think that is though going to be a win for Ungerer. Cirillo in 2nd, Giuliano in 3rd, Gabes in 4th, Bullo in 5th, Pino taking 6th, Bergen in 7th, Restrepo in 8th, Oliveira in 9th, and Rusty Mackie rounding out the top 10.
That was amazing. 36 riders through within 12 seconds of each other, and that gap that Ungerer created, I mean, at the end, there was like 0.6 of a second in it, but it held long enough for him to put on that gold jersey. Well, Category 3 out now, and we've got a very similar situation unfolding in front of us with riders out front and riders clear of the group behind. The question is, are they clear for long enough, and do they have a big enough gap? The gap around 400 metres at the moment from Manarelli on the left-hand side of your screen. Morgan giving chase on the right-hand side of your screen, and it is indeed holding it around 400 metres at the moment.
400 meters, is it enough? Morgan is a breakaway specialist. This is his territory. He's got the gap at the moment. It's a long way to the line. Manarelli's up in front. Really, if Morgan and Manarelli had gone together, then that would have been much more difficult to deal with. Meanwhile, back down to the Category 1 bunch. We are in with Ruben Dont, who's got Kaminsky, Churek and Kablinski just closing down on his back wheel. Up in front of them, it's not a huge gap to Osborne and Jones at the moment.
No.
They've opened the gap, Osborne and Jones, or Jones and Osborne, depending on which way around you like your new boy band names, but they are not at the moment breaking up the gap too much. Jones on the Alpha Jaw Space Cowboys squad Osborne on the final Bosses squad.
Yeah, it was 9 seconds at the last sprint checkpoint, the gap back to the chase group of 27. I think because the group is so big, it's rolling strongly. We're seeing more attacks here in Category 2. We're in with Nathan Guerra on our screen at the moment. The look of concentration on his face you can see very, very clear. Currently sat 5th wheel at the moment with a number of riders. Peter Milostic is the rider whose wheel he's on. Nikolai Damsgaard, X100 and Betty. X100 and Betty still up the road.
20 seconds.
20 seconds. This really is the chase now, the chase in Category 2 to try and close that down. They're at the 60-kilometre marker. There's 10.6k to go. Well, it is really the time to close that gap down, or else it sticks.
You're saying now is the moment to move.
Well, I think they've got, what have they got? They've got 10 kilometres, 10.3k to the finish line.
2 seconds a K they've got to do, basically. They've got to be quicker by 2 seconds a kilometre. And that's not insurmountable, particularly when you see when the sprint and the lead starts to come down. But
at the 50,
tough two riders to catch.
Yeah, at the 58.6 kilometre marker at the top of the Heart of Switzerland climb, the final climb segment, Betty went over in one with X100. It was a 13-second gap back to Cahill, who'd put the push in to pick up the points because he's leading that competition. Then a couple of seconds further back to the group. So it was around 17, 18 seconds to the group at that point. It's quite similar still.
It is. Let's just round up that mountain competition that was closed off with the ascent of the Heart of Switzerland climb for the second time. Cahill going through, as Emma said, in 3rd place, adding 3 points to his total, giving him 12 points in total in the lead in the climbs competition, ahead of SS with 8 points and Nicholas Trujillo in 3rd place with 7. 8 riders scoring points so far. In terms of the sprint competition, we still have 1 sprint left to go. Jesse Langevin at the moment 5 points clear of Vidal Mayer, who himself is 2 points clear of Julian Hertz in the Category 2 race. Langevin, just top right hand side of your screen, just mops his brow, just wipes the face. He knows that it's not going to be that far down the road. It's only another 5k or so, and he's going to be having to battle it out for the sprint win. Maciej Mendakowicz, is he wondering about having a long-term gap, going for that long-term breakaway? We'll have to see whether he's going to go for a long one. Cahill on your screens, the leader in the mountains competition at this stage, and Marcin Trojanowski, the man who I am looking for to put in a break at about 1,200 metres to go.
Highly likely.
1,201 actually.
We'll see. Kalman is the rider we're in with on the right hand side of the screen on the nearby list, and the push continues to go on at the moment. Zillard is the rider pushing at the moment on the front, but immediately then the power comes off. He's expecting somebody else to help, and that is one of the challenges at this point in the race, because there's a 20-second gap to the 2 riders down off the front of the pack. They need to take turns if they want to close this down, but then the question is who's going to do the work, because they're all trying to save energy, because this is only day 1 of 7.
And you've got the UAE clan team, so some of the big riders to close gaps. Mr. X100, well, he's one up the road. You've got SS, he's not going to close it down. You've got Simon Walter in the team. He's another strong rider who'll close gaps. Ivan Yuki will close gaps, and so will Phil Graves. None of those are going to work. They're teammates of Mr. X100, and who's not, he's up the road and gone. Ysail Betty, well, that's going to be interesting to see if he has his teammates doing anything. Kalman's not, Power's not, and Damsgaard's not.
Well, whilst they continue to push in Category 2 on the right-hand side of your screen, on the left-hand side of your screen, Osborne and Jones have now got the gap to close to 30 seconds.
Then this is dangerous. This could be the championship being decided on stage 1 to some degree, or at least the foundations being laid here, because you've got 2 of the best riders out there. Ollie Jones is always good come a stage race. We know that. We know he's incredibly good on a stage race, and so does Jason Osborne. Osborne attacks Jones here on this little bit of a kicker up here, going up over the rise came in. They're onto the last of our categorized climb. It's only 38 meters of vertical ascent, but I tell you something, Osborne does not want to take Jones to that finish at the moment in Category 1.
Talking about the finish, Category 3 are on the run into the finish. There is just under 1,000 meters to go at the moment, and the gap Well, Manarelli is still out front, but David Watts is closing this down. I think he might run out of road to actually close the gap to Manarelli, but he's doing an absolutely phenomenal job in two. Samuel Josh is on the front of the pack. They're 17 seconds behind the leader, which puts them around 10 seconds behind Watts.
So Watts with a clear air between him and the rider in front, but clear air between him and the bunch behind, almost equidistant, sandwiched in the middle like a bit of Kiwi jam. However, at the front of the race, you can see it's Manarelli leading this race out into the barriers here, onto the right-hand turn. He's less than 200 meters to go. Manarelli has gone for this. Carlos Manarelli in category 3. He went long. He went so long. He was in a different calendar month from everybody else. He's been out there that long. He comes up to the line. It's going to be a win today in category 3 for Carlos Manarelli. He takes a stage win. He'll go on to stage 2 in the lead. Watts holds on to take second place. The fast charging Zach Patterson takes third. Shakila takes fourth. Yunyu Lin, I think it will be, taking 5th place here today, subject to confirmation, because that was a big old sprint behind as they all came into the line. Manarelli in 1, Watts in 2, Patterson in 3 behind.
Yakila in 4, Yunyu Lin in 5, Reinheimer in 6, Abitko in 7, Kansara in 8, Rako in 9, and Gorin in 10th spot.
Onto the climb, you can see Jason Osborne attack Jones. We saw that move. They went on. They had literally been on the climb for less than 200 meters, and Osborne went for it. He really nailed it, and that means that Jones has now been distanced. He's 10 seconds down on Osborne, and just as importantly, he's only 22 seconds up on Dont and the rest of the bunch. Will Jones's efforts have come to nothing? Will he be able to cross the line on his Jack Joneses, or will he be in that group? Well, it's going to be a really interesting run to the line in category 1. Osborne now clear by 10 seconds off Jones. Jones clear by around 20-ish seconds off the bunch behind. Will those gaps stay? Will they come back together again? Only time is going to tell as we run down towards the finish line. Now, there's one more sprint to go. The Old Town sprint at the 66.1 kilometre marker in category 1. In category 2, they've been...
We're not feeling it.
Hold on, she says. They are also about to go through that sprint segment. They're coming up to it. They are very close. They're
These accelerations are killing me.
500 meters away.
So 500 meters away, you can just see Josiah Betty at the moment going for a big move here, looking for those points ahead of Mr. X100. Vidal Mer chasing behind with Milostic. They're looking for points overall, but Langevin is kicking. He looks like he's going to try and move up. He's at 14 watts per kilo in that chasing group. He's got Hertz as a target in front of him. Langevin in the sprint leaders jersey is going to lose out on points to 3 riders in front, but he adds points to his...
I just got no sprint left.
Langevin coming through. Has he done enough to hold it? From there, he has. Langevin 17 points in total now to Mez 13, Hertz is 9. Betty scoring points in 2 of our sprints, but only down with 6 points, tied with Ross Fawcett in 4th and 5th place.
Yes, and the gap between Betty and X100 and the pack, 16 seconds at that point on the road. 43 riders chasing, and the question for me now is, can this run to the finish? Can Betty and X100 stay clear? Is 16 seconds enough, or will a very fast finishing pack close them down? Or will a pack who continually look at each other, well, will the gap grow?
Difficult to tell. Very, very difficult to tell, isn't it? So the riders at the moment out on course with very little distance left to go. Coming in to our finish here. The riders starting to put the moves in behind Betty and Mr. X100. Peter Milostic, he loves a stage race. We think we love a stage race. He loves it even more as they continue to push down this straight. Nico now responding. Look at the face of Nico here. He's focused on those riders in front. He's moving his way up nicely at the moment as he goes over the top of Mare. Milostic just in front of him. The gap is at 14 seconds to the 2 race leaders. We have got very little distance left on this race. 3.4k left in the racing. That's 3,400 meters. That is going to be round about depends on what gear they're using, but around about 800 pedal strokes.
Well, whatever gear they're using, they're racing fast, and Betty and X100 want to stay clear of Milostic and Nico. Gorjank as well, just doing a double check. It's around 150 meters at the moment, the distance on the road. Maybe actually closer to 200, but it is a significant gap, and Betty continues to push on. X100 sits in the wheelies, not quite in the draft, so that's interesting in itself. Betty's doing a lot of work on the front at the moment. I think just saw Betty was listening to you earlier on today and is trying to do and execute the race plan you had for him, Matt. But he's doing an absolutely sterling job here. X100 working so hard to get back into that draft, and he's not there yet. Vidal Mare on the front of the bunch. It's still holding at 16 seconds. There's been no change.
Now, this is not favoritism. This is just because we love a brave rider or I love a brave rider who goes to the front. Come on, Giselle, you can get this done. This is it. This is stage 1. Not acceptable, buddy. Not acceptable. This is where you can come down. You get your name in the history books here. Get on that wheel. Make sure you use it. You've got 2k to go. The bunch is coming, but this could be your day. It could be somebody else's. We will have to see. This is the Category 2 race. Mr. X100 with Ysael Betty on his heels. They're trying to hold off the bunch who are behind. They're across the road of the bunch. There's some of our youngsters, some of our older riders all starting to mob the front of that group. They know they need to make this happen, and they need to make it happen quick because the time is disappearing. We're at 6, and so is the distance, 69.2k for Ysael Betty at the moment. Remember, we finished at 70.6 kilometers on our race route here today. This will be key. Who has got the legs left to do anything about it? Mr. X100 at the moment is hovering about, it's 1 to 2 seconds behind that Ysael Betty. Betty is giving this absolutely everything as there's a launch off the front. Coimbra has just put in a huge move off the front at about 8 watts per kilo in pursuit of the leaders. Rodrigo Coimbra at the moment, he's about 300 meters behind Betty. Sandwiched in between is Mr. X100. That banner cannot come quick enough for Betty. Will it arrive? We're going to have to find out. This is going to be close. It's track style pursuit. Betty in 1, X100 in 2, Coimbra in 3. The bunch behind her trying to get into the draft of Coimbra and hold that wheel. Betty is giving this everything. I really need to see the picture of Ysael Betty. He better be turning himself inside out at this moment in time.
He is, I can absolutely guarantee it. And he's got 300 meters to go off this race. He's still up and over 400 watts with a high heart rate, and he's absolutely motoring. X100, there's a gap of 2 seconds. Can he hold this? Is he going to? The chase is on behind as well. The Vuelta Panda crew are all lining up for the finish, and it's Ysael Betty who's out front. He kicks at 8 watts per kilo. He's clear.
He's clear and he's on his way to the line. Ysael Betty in Category 2. Cometh the hour, cometh the man, cometh Ysael Betty. Race win, well done, sir. Behind Mr. X100, battles his way towards the line. Coimbra's coming hard over the top, so is Carstensen. X100 comes through in second. Carstensen may have nicked that 3rd place spot on the line. You can see our riders in Category 2. They've been working hard
17.
out there today.
That's all right.
But you know what? What a ride and what a race there by all of the riders.
So as a team,
That is some race finish.
It was indeed Ysael Betty.
that's what we're going for. A good team result.
100, 6 seconds clear of the
Give me a minute.
2-rider sprint. Carstenen, Coimbra, Stewart,
Finish team.
Cooper, Power, Fournier, Guerrero,
5th best team.
Hoffman,
So-
top 10.
So Bethany will go into stage 2 with the 4-second lead over Mr. X100, the defending champion. The rest of that big punch coming in 10 seconds.
I'm not going to argue with that.
It's not a huge gap, but it's enough to take the stage 1 to stage 2.
Well, it's interesting because Jason Osborne's just.
I could definitely do better because Daniel Mandel's on my team, and he weighs 2 kilos heavier than me. And he did
underneath it. Ollie Jones is
13 watts less.
At all. This is really
cheers,
interesting.
coach.
It's going to be really
So I can definitely improve on
time
that.
split here,
But I think what happened with me, because I've been dropped so many times, I end up. Let me just save this
and
because
he now is
I'll
coming
get
out of the
disqualified
bunch, and
otherwise.
this could well start to close down some of the gaps and bring these groups back together. Osborne is 11 seconds clear of Jones at the moment. So
I think what happens with me is I panic too much at the start of a climb, so I always go off early. My idea is it builds momentum.
And Dont also wanting to pick up points at that juncture in the road.
It builds momentum,
23 seconds
and then I can just tag back through
Jones
the
and
pack.
group.
And probably not the smartest way to do it, but
Osborne had levelled with him
it
at the top of the standings on
I'll
10
take
points.
that. And with the 5th best team by, and we were literally by
2 points,
point
and that has brought him to
one,
2 points
less than 0.1 of a second.
After the third
And we'll
and
just keep that. We'll keep
leading
that going
the
hopefully
points
tomorrow.
competition. He'll take away the win in the points today.
And teams might drop out, you know. We had 2 riders drop out of our team today.
Jones tied with him on points at 9 points, but
that's it,
further
3
down the
riders.
road, then it's Friday.
If any of us get disqualified for whatever reason or an old,
points, and Stefan Van Elst lost
a lot.
those 1 point in.
That's the sad thing about the tournament, really.
But Pavel Skierski with the
5th place for a
Category
team.
1
It's a good start.
win here today. The mountains competition taken
That
by
was the stage
Jason
I was dreading the most,
Osborne.
although
The win overall,
it was only
though,
1 kilometre
well,
climb.
at the moment,
6
that
kilometre
gap is
climb
there at
tomorrow.
the front, and this
Short
bunch
of days,
behind,
but
having to be smart about
the
this, I
climb,
think,
that'll drop a lot
in their
of
chase. Line of adjusting with the MyWhoosh.
You got to weigh in every day as well,
The
That
big
sucks,
banner right
Here's
across
what
the
it is.
middle of his chest. And don't forget, of course, you could be riding
It just
this
means you-
course. You could be
you can't
riding the
be a bit
races and the routes
like,
on MyWhoosh.
not that you do anyway, but
iOS, on Android or on
And
Windows.
there's a real interesting
you know,
dynamic
this
there, because they've got a
morning you
teammate,
can't
Ollie
just
Jones,
chuck
down
your
the road. They
breakfast
won't
down
want to
without
give chase,
thinking
they won't
about
want
it.
to lose that second place for Jones, but they will want
Didn't
to
you,
get a really strong position.
it's good
and they don't want
fitness,
too
nice
big of a
little,
gap because they're all looking
week-long,
for GC. You
I
know,
don't know,
Vujasin
like,
wants a top 10 this year. He was 11th last year. He won't want to
training
repeat
block.
that. Knudsen
Very
wants to be in the
intense
mix. There's
training
the
block.
young
Although
rider,
that was
Lyndon
okay.
Milostic,
A
who's
couple of silly
motion.
attacks.
Milostic will go really
felt
well on
then.
the climbing stages. So his job over the last
And maybe I
over
could have
the
done the
next
sprint
couple of
better, but
days is
I
to
wasn't
keep
holding
as
back.
small
I probably
a gap as
just
possible.
Yeah, don't lose too much time.
mentally,
Wait till it goes into the big climbs, and then look to accelerate your way up through
didn't,
that race field.
you know,
Osborne
go
already
for
on
it
the front. His
like I would
job
in
today.
Zwift, but for
He
some
had
reason
said
I
he
have a
was
big
gonna struggle
disconnect
to
on
contain himself
MyWhoosh
during
and
the course
Zwift
of the race. That
with
certainly looks
being,
to be the case here today, because he's clear
yeah,
on the front.
sometimes I get it,
Jones
sometimes I don't. I
behind
mean, my
him,
biggest
1 and
numbers are
2,
on
left
MyWhoosh.
and right hand side of the screen as we drop
Yeah,
back to Mikkel
is what
Kaminski,
it is.
who is now sat on the wheel of Hayden Pucker. Pucker looking to put
That was
down
good.
those
I was
big
looking,
watts
not looking
in
forward to that
pursuit on the flat here.
particularly
Now, the
fun
leaders are literally
afternoon.
just around the corner.
I'm happy I did
Unfortunately,
it.
that corner's
Right.
quite a long way off.
Yeah, it is. But
I get
they
a
are
cool
indeed
down.
just around the corner, 28 seconds up the road. But this group is huge, 26 riders in this group. Kaminski's in there, Van Erk's in there, Panitsa's in there, Skierski is in there, you know, Nair, Pedersen,
Anyway,
Van He is in there. He's got a great sprint on him as well. So it is going to be, I think we could see 1 or 2 riders try and break this group. And I know I'm saying that with like 2 kilometres to go, but I do think there's going to be some longer range moves here because there's just too many.
So many things open. I need to cool down. Still only got 3 riders finished. And it's the same for other teams as well, I suppose. They have riders drop out, it's just as unfortunate for them. I wish we had bigger teams. 5 riders a team, 3 top count. Maybe if we had 6 or 7 riders a team, it would help. And all of us in our team finished within 0.4 of a second of each other. You can't argue at that. You can't argue with that at all. I think I should have went earlier on that. Don't know. It doesn't matter, I can't do it again. Shall we put on Zwift? Only because I want to upgrade my bike. Ugh. Let's push this thing. There's so many things open on my laptop. I'm surprised that I can blow up. Come on. I wonder if I lost weight on that. I drank in it quite a lot of stuff. I'll weigh myself then. I'll do it in a minute. I want that one. Right. This is not correct, is it? Click on move. Let's do that. As a cool down. What am I going to do? Cheers, Scott. I survived. I ended in the front group and I crossed the line 17th. So all three of our team finished within half a second of each other, so that's quite nice. So that's good. We did lose 2 teammates though, so our best 3 were surviving it, but turning up this morning was winning. I was dreading it. It wasn't that bad. Compared to SRC, we were not trying to kill each other on the flat bit. Not so much, so that was nice. Got a bit spicy for the end. And I think I got in my head, so I probably didn't execute my sprint as much as I should have. Which is a shame, but yeah, I was happy with it. If I was to do it again, I'd have probably gone 5 seconds earlier on my sprint. I'd have committed fully. I didn't fully commit. You don't get to do it twice, do you? That's the problem. And maybe I'd have been half a second, maybe a second faster, but that could help, you know. Like, I think we're in 5th overall on our team. And if I was a second faster, we'd have been 4th, maybe. But, well, you can do it again tomorrow, but I got to get over a big climb to do that. Notoriously bad on getting over the top with the front. But that being said, it's the stronger riders in the group have all teamed up together. So the top 3 or 4 teams can be the top 3 or 4 teams. I don't really care about them. I'll do the best that I can. I know what I climb at. I know my numbers. I can go above them for a little bit, and then I'll blow up. So I can't do that. I'm pretty good at knowing what I'm capable of. So yeah, really cool. But I did enjoy it. I did the weigh-in beforehand. I enjoyed the process, and I actually overfueled and hydrated because I know that recovery is going to be important. So putting on an extra kilo, maybe, well, it wasn't a full kilo, but it was up another bracket, I think helped, because the recovery, it starts now, doesn't it, like really for tomorrow. I'm going to worry about a kilogram if I can have a bigger breakfast and drink a bit more fluid and not worry about it. So like, I've got to weigh in tomorrow as well. They changed it to category 2. It does suck a little bit, only because the ball ache. Yeah, I was 65.2, which is annoying because my daughter's usually my phone holder, and my phone weighs 300 grams. So I could have been 64, but it doesn't. It doesn't matter. I don't think. I'd rather just get it over and done with. But I end up locking everything up. I do. Like a rush. At 0.95, that's perfect. Did you have to have your socks on or off for that? Yeah. I always use my socks on. Yeah. That was the first race of that level on MyWhoosh that I haven't felt like I was going to get dropped. Not so. I should try that. That was the first race in MyWhoosh I haven't felt like I couldn't do it. It's so different to SRC, that was. Might be different tomorrow, but today everyone was sensible. It's so unnecessary on a normal Sunday. It's just stupid. You see, the average watts are always about the same, but it's the constant attacking all the time. And I can do it, I just don't want to. It's so hard. No, I think definitely in Cat 2 the punches felt a little bit easier, to be honest. There was one sprint where it picked up, but I was okay because I saw it coming. A lot of the time, especially early on MyWhoosh, I couldn't spot the moves too late before I even changed gear. I've got better at that. It's still pretty awful, but yeah, I don't know what it is with me and MyWhoosh, just trying to read the race in a really bad. And over the tops on today, we didn't push too much. There was a little dig on the last one, but not too bad. Yeah, you too, man. I need to get some food now as well. Just gonna finish this lap off. Oh. Right, I'm going to finish this kilometre off, get something to eat, and double check my door recording because that's going to make a difference today. How many calories did that have? Don't be a fair amount. Nearly 1700 calories. 340 grams of carbs. Decent meal. I'm trying 2.5 meters, so it's still pretty good. Oh no, not 2, it's only 7 isn't it? That's 500 grams. 2 litres of water. I'm going to have 2 of these. That's probably to do the 200 grams of carbs roughly in that. That weight. I'll just finish this up. I'll do it quick way. Go down then. No. Right, I'm done. Thank you for watching.